Hi, I'm Rose. I play Cam, who presents themselves as a purple tiefling. They're sculptor, raised in a druid family, ran off to do more sculpting, and now has been dragged into some bullshit by one of their side hustle people.
Yes. So I'm May. I play a character named Big, who currently is a cleric that is very concerned about the health of this party currently, because there was a lot of goo, and I'm not a fan of it. Um, he is a scholar, and he's trying to figure out some of the mysteries of the universe. Mostly dragons, though. Mostly those.
Hello, I'm Flogan. I am a dwarf. I used to just do good, honest work for other people when this one wizard wasn't happy with the work that I did, and so he turned me into a Cancun, which was totally unfair and not my fault at all. Um, Last time I wasn't here. I was tinkering on my own, doing my own thing. So I don't think I know about the poison that's in my body. I don't know either. I'll try to fix it.
Hello, my name is Sunny Kay, and I play Yuka, the half-elf druid, witch of the woods, steward of the Lord Bestial and Lady Verdant, who is most decidedly not having a great time right now. She's very ill and being extremely childish about it. That works.
Oh, Melise.
Is my sound getting better, or is it still the same?
It's actively worse. It's
Well,
an underwater
It comes,
robot.
it comes in and out.
okay.
Throgan's working on a new invention that modulates vocal sound quality.
Yeah, and because I'm such a good inventor, I just need some time to tinker on it.
Yeah, naturally. This is all part of the learning process for
Yeah.
Throgan.
I'm only selling it for
Mhm.
2,000 gold. Yeah, so
It's not a grift at all.
it's a
How
low
could you say something like
price.
that?
If it were a grift, I wouldn't dare ask this amount of money.
It's a bargain.
Well,
All right, testing, testing. I hope that I can be heard now. I can at least
You
see my
sound
little
great.
audio thing going. Yeah, to you guys. I have to make sure chat can hear me.
well, yeah.
Chat,
Chat, help. Please
help
help.
our dungeon master.
But yes, keep talking amongst yourselves if you like. Okay, chat is telling me I can be heard. Wonderful. Thank you all, chat.
Thank you,
Am I
chat.
better or am I worse?
You're better. You're better now.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat. As I mentioned way at the start of the stream, this is our first time back in about 3 weeks, so there are going to be understandable technical difficulties. Thank you for sticking with us, and I also want to give a quick heads up that I will not be checking chat during the stream, just because I will be focused on DMing for these lovely players. I will try and check in at break time, but I've got no promises past that. So, with no further ado, as I was trying to give a recap, my lovely crew of adventurers here were asked to go on a very simple fetch quest to retrieve some alchemical notes. And 2 of them ended up getting poisoned by a death dog. Now, I don't know who in chat knows what a death dog is, but it decreases your maximum hit points slowly over time. Which, let's just say a couple of these players are not having a good time with. So, with no further ado, if my players are ready, we can start the session. Yes?
our beautiful, lovely, handsome DM cut out during the entirety of the recap.
Okay. Okay, then.
I think it's just your screen is.
I think
Yeah,
it's an
no.
internet
Is the
issue.
Yeah.
Oh, this.
This is a wonderful frame.
These are reaction images. This is gold. Oh no, he just looks so distressed.
I love this because I can hear
That's the-
all of you, and apparently Chad is telling me I didn't cut out, so it's just a you guys problem.
Okay.
Oh
We don't need to
dear.
recap.
We're
That's
good.
fine. We all know what's
I know
over.
what
What's
happened.
happening. Everyone's over at my house
Everyone's over
for
here.
snacks.
So, if you guys are all ready, I can start. Please tell me if I do cut out again because that will be a big issue for everyone involved. But to start with,
Will do.
we find our group of adventurers, Cam, Fig, Throgan, and Yuka, together inside of the Forbidden Woods. Now, these are woods outside of the large city of Ironcliff, just about a half a day's walk away. These woods are deep, dark, and dangerous. There are tons of legends about the animals in these woods being too clever for animals, about the plants growing back behind you so you would never find your way out again. But to one of our adventurers, this is home. Yuka, you are the steward of these woods, and as such, you led your party, our party, to your home, a small druidic homestead, shall we call it, where you've grown up and you have lived in these woods your entire life. To you, these are home, these are friendly, and walking through the woods, these are paths that you have tracked 100 times. Cam, Fig, these woods are dark, deep, and mysterious. Fig, as you walk, you could swear that the creeper vines are reaching out to snare your ankles. Cam, your horns, every so often you feel them get caught on a branch as you try and push past. You are only comfortable walking this way because Yuka is with you. And you don't know where your fourth party member got off to last time. Throgan, you, after having a long rest where you saw Yuka start to get very injured, ran all the way back to Ironcliff. You were not there long, but in the time you were there, you made quite a fuss and quite a mess, making sure that you had what you needed to continue your alchemy and your other research. Something has drawn you, Throgan, back into these forbidden woods. Let's call it a string of fate or a little nudge of inspiration that is pushing you into the woods and pushing you to follow small deer tracks that lead to the same place our other three compatriots are going. Yuka, would you like to describe to our party what your home looks like?
Absolutely. I recognize that on stream when last the home was described, it may be a little bit different. We've taken a little bit of time to restructure a couple of things. You are, as a party, led to a half grove, half mildly not as wild overgrowth in a little copse of trees that create a pathway to a stream just under a small hill, and a massive tree right at the top of that hill that has been hollowed out on the inside, such that it still looks like it yet lives, though it has been struck by lightning. And inside there are shelves covered with jars containing materia of all kinds, clean bones, dried plants, fungus, uh, uh, different parts of different animals and different parts of different plants. There's an herb garden in the outside that looks like it has a variety of different plants of all different kinds of medicinal and poison uses. It's a genuine, veritable like treasure trove of all things witchy, natural magic, littered with leather-bound tomes and slabs of stone that have been repurposed as junk collectors, but also ritual spaces.
So, you all arrive into this clearing, this home. And as you are there, you see that there is a small fox, a russet-colored creature sitting in the middle of this clearing. Throgan, as you walk up, you break through the tree line at the same time as our other three adventurers. And this small fox looks at Yuka, where you stand, ragged, doubling over on yourself. I just heard my background begin to fall apart behind me. Ragged, doubling over yourself. Hey, Milktooth, what happened to you? As this fox speaks.
With no regard for the people that she's traveled with, she just genuinely falls to her knees in like a position of half prayer, but like half pleading. My Lord Bestial, I have fallen ill with an infection and it can be cured, but I will need some assistance. I have a proposition if you and the Lady Verdant would be so kind and good as to hear it.
You four watch as this fox, or I don't know, Yuka, would you be looking at the Lord Bestial at this point in time?
She'd be like, she's like knelt down, face against the ground, prostrate, and she's also speaking in primordial at this point. That's an important thing to note.
Great. So then you three would hear Yuka speaking in a tongue that sends shivers down your spine. I don't think any of you have the primordial proficiency. It feels and it sounds like a language you should not be understanding, but you know means something heavy is happening. You three would watch this, again, very small russet-colored fox stand up and sort of look around, almost as if he's going to walk towards this side of the clearing where you're standing, before he just sort of lifts up his head, cocks it to the side, and runs back the way he came, away from you all.
She is not moved.
You hear little pitter-patter feet steps running away. Can everyone give me a perception check?
Mm-hmm.
Do we remember how dice work?
No.
Let's roll. And it's the D whatever it is.
D20, yes, this is the system we use.
I got a nat 20.
Straight from my shit. Oh my god.
Throken got a nat 20. Insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yuka, Cam, you're certainly seeing.
I'm seeing the grass.
Okay, so Throgan is the only one seeing. Perfect.
There's an animal
Yeah,
face.
I just saw Yuka just go flat and then sort of weirdly mumble speak to a fox, and I'm just like...
I do want to stress as well, every single one of you can understand the fox. Like, you are able to hear that this fox is speaking common. So...
I mean, Cam is returning back to, like, humanoid form from being a horse, so that's taking their attention away a bit.
So, Yuka, Cam, Fig, you three are a bit focused more on the fact that, okay, that was a fox that spoke. And also, why is Yuka, like, kneeling to this fox? Throgan, what you see is a bit more interesting. You see that this fox has run off into the forest. And after just a couple of beats, you begin to see the tree line itself move. Throgan, you start to see these vines, these creeper figs, almost begin to pull away from the trees where they have been rested. And they don't move in any way that a humanoid would move. But you notice they do move as if they are one entity come together. And they build together and they build up. And you watch as some of it bulges out and some of it stretches upwards. Until eventually, there is the figure of a woman covered in creeper vine, sitting on the edge of the clearing. She is massive. She easily dwarfs the smaller trees at the edge of this clearing, almost reaching the tops of the tallest trees where her head would sit. And you hear the creaking and the crackling and the snapping of these vines as they rip and stretch out of place. And then you hear those little pitter-patter feet again. And you see that the fox is now about a story up, sitting on these creeper vines, next to this other figure. My child, Yuka, why have you come to us in this state? And all four of you can hear this. Yuka, you are hearing this in Primordial.
She responds in kind in Primordial. I come to you, O Lady Verdant, O Lord Bestial, in this infected state, that I may propose my continuation as steward of these woods. With your aid, there is a physician, a master of his craft, who understands this infection and will cure it. However, the journey to reach him will be taxing. I will bring him here, and he will cure me. What I ask of you, that I may continue my service as steward of these woods, is to aid in keeping me alive until he can arrive. I ask this of you, that I may aid you. But first, I need aid of yours.
If any of you would like to roll any sort of religion check on these names that Yuka has stated, you may do so. Yuka, you see some of the roots at the base of this figure begin to pull up out of the ground. And it is not so much that she takes a step towards you as much as she seems to push her entire being towards you and into your space. Even for you, Yuka, somebody who grew up in the forest, this is an overwhelming sensation of claustrophobia.
She for sure has her hackles raised at this point.
All right. Cam, these are two names that you have not heard before, even with your family's druidic upbringing. You would be able to identify that these are likely going to be names of deities, but that is as far as you get with this information. Throgan, you know a little bit more. You would have heard tales of the Lord Bestial and Lady Verdant as things told to children. They are tales told to keep you out of the woods, reasons to not go into areas that have been magically polluted and then overgrown again. To you, seeing these two figures, they match up with the stories, but it feels sort of like finding a fairy tale creature in real life. Fig, you do research on deities, on practices. This is something that is right up your alley, and you have heard of the Lord Bestial and Lady Verdant before. Fig, you have a little bit more information than the others. You know that these are not twin gods in the sense that they are related by blood, but rather twin gods in the sense that they are always spoken of together. They could best be considered the flora and fauna of the forest, specifically of the Forbidden Forest, the Forbidden Woods outside of Ironcliff. Fig, you don't have a strict record of when these deities began to be worshipped. However, you do know that the worship of them became a lot more prevalent after the end of the War of the Dragons. Yuka.
Like, I think what's going through Fig is just like, how low do I have to bow?
Well, Fig, how low do you bow?
I'm not bowing right now, but like, if they designed to speak to me, then I'll probably like be going down on one knee and like bending my head.
Of course, good to know. Yuka, you feel the creeper vine shift into your space and start to shift around you, and you can even see it in your periphery where you're still looking at the ground. My child, why should we keep one alive that has passed its life? You know the rules of these woods.
Do. And yet, veritably, I know. There are infections that kill, and there are infections that can be cured. I do believe this is an infection that can be cured, and as such, it is worth your while to keep me here that I may continue my service once I am healed.
Yuka,
You, ultimately, are the decider of my fate, and I will not question your choice.
Yuka, you may roll me a persuasion check. Throgan, you see this little fox hop down off of where it had been sitting on the vines, and it begins to walk over to you, sniffing the air. Hey, this one's also infected. What's up with that?
Hello?
Oh no.
It's good to meet you.
Hey, bird. Why are you hanging out with my daughter?
Throw up.
I'm not a bird. We were on the same mission.
A mission, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right.
She didn't tell you about it?
No? She left the woods, and I
That
just kind
you
of let her
get from
go.
Yuka.
Sorry, what's Yuka doing?
The look that she gives Throgan is just, you're gonna see it in your nightmares.
Throgan, could you
I
please
think it
roll
was
me a
mostly
wisdom
just chasing
saving
some
throw?
bandits out of the woods.
you-
I think
like-
it was.
Like you think you hear on the wind, you dare cross me, little man.
I think it was. We just like tried to bring bad guys out of the woods. We just tried to do what's good for the woods. You know.
It is very much the, did you just fucking tattle to my dad? Did you just fucking tell my dad that we were out drinking together?
Yuka wouldn't know me of her own choice. Yuka doesn't.
Yuka.
I'm just birding around.
Thought you said you weren't a bird.
I'm not a bird. I'm a
Smell like a
dwarf.
bird. Look like a bird.
I'm a dwarf.
Bet you taste like a bird.
Lord Bastille, smell
I'm too
him
big
further.
for you.
You will smell a curse upon him.
Oh yeah, that
Throgan.
too. Eating me is bad for your health.
Throgan, you watch as the fox in front of you runs off into the woods. And then you start to hear something larger behind you in the woods.
Wait. I try to hide.
Roll me stealth.
I just try to hide behind Fig.
As Theragon is doing this, I basically if this fox was said in common, it'd be like I'm trying to like, I don't know what role would be best for just like, hey, how sick are you?
Medicine?
Yeah, I think medicine. I think medicine is a good one. Yuka, you feel the leaves around you shake and quiver a little bit. I suppose you are correct insofar as some infections are curable. I could keep you alive, but you would not be able to leave here again. Not while you are still ill.
You have my word and my bond. I'm grateful for your aid.
To everyone who is not Yuka, you would see this mass of leaves and vines do what is most similar to a nod. Yuka, you are going to feel yourself get overtaken by the creeper vines. This feels like drowning. They are over you, they are under you, they are battering you around to the point where you lose sight of up and down and left and right. Do you fight it?
No, I let it overtake me. Before she fully loses consciousness, or before she fully loses her sense of self and her connection to her magic and the force of the forest and her compatriots and the Lord Bestial and the Lady Verdant, and is just covered in vine, there is something she would like to do.
Go ahead.
She would like to use the last of her magic to curse Vasil Vitali.
I will have you wait just one moment on that curse of Vasil Vitale, if that is okay.
Of course.
Throgan, Cam, Fig, you see from where the Lord Bestial had previously run into the woods, a snout begins to appear, gray, furred, canine fangs dripping out of its maw. You see what is one of the scrangliest, mangy-looking wolves you've ever seen begin to stalk into the clearing. Throgan, I can't help but see you never rolled me a stealth check, so you are visible. You are also behind Fig.
Yeah, I'm good. Can I stealth now?
I mean, I suppose, yes.
Wonderful.
I've been stealthy all along. Come on.
Yeah, that's not incredible.
So, yeah, so you
I'm
know
big,
that this
but I'm
wolf
not
sees
that
you.
big.
You know that this wolf sees you. It
I'm
sees your
not
little bird
edible. I'm poisonous right now.
feet. And you see it just begin to stalk out of the woods and go, "Huh, you think I can't get any bigger, bird? Ah, well, I'm not going to kill you. Not yet." And then the rest of you begin
Dad,
to
oh my
feel-
god, stop. Those are my friends, Dad.
The rest of you begin to feel the woods behind you shake. And you hear footsteps, hoofbeats. And Cam, you are shoved aside as an elk begins to move into this clearing. Fig, Throgan, you hear around your feet small critters,
Okay.
voles, shrews, weasels also end up arriving into this clearing, along with what seems to be a wolf mother with her 3 cubs. And as you guys look up, and as Yuka gets taken away, pulled away by these creeper vines towards the edge of the clearing, you start to see different animals of the forest appear, almost as if they had been called for some reason. You all begin to feel the ground underneath you thrum with a little bit of energy. Cam, you would be able to identify this more specifically as a druid. You feel the fungi of these woods, their hyphae begins building and growing. And you start to see small orange veins pulling from the edge of the clearing into the center where Yuka was taken to. And you all see as these creeper vines recede, there ends up being a pod. It looks a bit ovular, very egg-shaped orange, with the membrane see-through enough that you can see Yuka lying unconscious inside. Fig, she looks defenseless. This is a strong woman, and you didn't think you would ever see her in this sort of state. Yuka, would you like to curse Vasil before you lose consciousness?
I'd love nothing more.
Go on ahead.
Oh no.
Somewhere in Ironcliff, in a tavern, a man who has fallen asleep at his desk, drink in hand, half-eaten food on his plate, among sprawling notes of medical and engineering and chemical theory. In his deepest, darkest recesses of his dreaming mind, he hears a familiar voice he once gave very little credit.
I hate to tell you this. My dearest player, we cannot hear your
Does it
voice.
not pick up?
Doesn't pick up.
Vas Vitali. Just as you have forsaken with your callousness and selfishness and arrogance the people and creatures and forces that you have gained so much success and life from, so too shall you be forsaken. I curse you, Vasil Vitali. Until you find me and you cure me, shall you be forgotten, shall you be forsaken and ignored, just as you have forsaken and ignored the air you breathe, the beasts whose flesh you consume. I curse you, Vasil Vitali.
So,
Just so that I know, we don't know that you cursed Vitale.
correct.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
So, you all watch as Yuka appears to take one last shuddering breath before you see her mouth fill with this, quite frankly, disgusting fluid. It is more mucus than water. It is filled with hyphae, and you can see like the little bits of fungus in it as well. Just go into her lungs, and you see these veins puncturing into her veins, puncturing through her skin, until the point where you don't believe she can feel a difference between herself and the fungi around her. There is
Yay.
one last creature that ends up at the edge of this clearing. You all see as these creatures that have escaped seem to take a moment to view this grave, this capsule, with a sense of sadness, as if somebody who belonged in their woods has passed. Some of them bow, most of them fall silent. And you hear from behind you, or I guess not from behind you, but you hear from the other side of the clearing from you, behind the capsule, there's just one small scoff in a very horse-like voice. Throgan, I'm going to carry over the perception checks from earlier, so you're the only person who's going to see this. But you see a quadruped, a horse-like creature with silvery fur and iridescent hooves that just ever so briefly seems to stick his head out of the woods, horn growing from the top of his forehead, and just scoffs as if he wanted to be the one to kill her before leaving the clearing.
I carry on the moment of silence because I want to be able to be silent when my friend that just died.
Maybe?
But also, did you guys see that unicorn? Did you guys see that?
I'm sorry, what?
Unicorn's gone. Unicorn's already left.
There was a horse here, and it was so rude. It was so rude. I'm gonna kill that horse. Who the fuck does he think he is?
Please don't kill anything in these woods. That's a very bad idea.
It's scoff at Yuka dying.
I don't know, maybe they were mortal enemies. We can figure that out later.
Then why are you at the funeral? Is this a funeral?
I don't
This
think
is a
it's
funeral.
a funeral.
I don't know how society thinks.
I mean,
This is the lowest society can be, dog.
You're with gods. You're with gods. What do you mean this is low society?
There, you see briefly, like in the corner of your eye, if you look in her house, she has no other sets of clothes. Just what she is wearing right now, which is a very like threadbare piece of linen she wove herself, except for one perfect, pristine set of dwarven leather steel-toed boots.
Those are for
That
my
look
people.
that look like they have been meticulously polished every single day.
Are you about to steal Yuka's boots, Throgan?
You bastard!
No, I wouldn't. That's rude. I would bring
No,
them.
I think it'd be genuinely.
I
I
would
think it'd
take
be
them
funny
with
if you did.
I would take them with me, but I'll constantly be like,
They're
no,
covered
I'm not
in
stealing
goo.
them. I'm just bringing them for if she ever shows back up. I'm not stealing them. I
They're also
wouldn't do
covered in
that. That's
goo
my dead
right
friend.
now.
I'm just bringing them, to be sure. Yeah,
Add the boots to your inventory.
I will.
Please add the boots to your
Um,
inventory. That's funny.
Also, they're dwarven boots. Yuka's not a dwarf.
They're made by dwarves to fit her massive fucking half-elf feet.
All right, I have
Okay.
to remember that the boots are in play now. The boots have been obtained. All right.
This is Chekhov's
are
gun.
they in Gurünk items?
They are not, because I didn't make an item for them. You're gonna have to make your own
No.
item.
Mm-mm.
You did
I'm
not
gonna do that.
expect Hogan to just join?
I didn't expect
I thought you
the
knew
boots to
me.
be taken. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how to make an item. Do I just?
So if you go into your character sheet, and if you go
Mhm.
into
I am out of the game for the time being, so I am going to make one for you. Is that okay?
Incredible.
do you have
Yes.
permission to do that?
Perfect.
Wow. Okay. Nice. Go team.
Wonderful.
So, the three of you see as this moment of silence drags on, many of the creatures begin to leave, until eventually there are only 4 beings standing in this clearing. There are you 3. Yuka, who can't really be considered standing anymore and therefore is missing from the count. The Lord Bestial remains sitting next to you, Throgan, Fig, and Cam. So, the wolf speaks. Should I assume that you 3 are going to bring back the dock for my daughter, or?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Because this was like a funeral, but then she's not dead?
She's essentially dead. I mean, no animal lives like that, so.
The thing is, mostly dead is still somewhat alive.
And the wolf
So-
turns its head to face you, Fig.
Oh, I do my kneel now.
I shrink back. I assume I'm still behind you.
Oh, you're kneeling.
I do.
Nice. Okay. Well, the wolf like stands up and like tries to like look bigger than he actually is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're right there. If you can find a person to cure this poison, I'm sure that like the Lady Verdant can, fix this whole thing and get her unfungused. But for now, this is what we've got. So
I'm sorry, my lord. Is that the technical term? Unfungused?
Nerd.
Look, if you want the answer to that question, you gotta ask my wife. I don't know. I do the animal stuff. Oh.
Aren't fungi kind of in the middle of being an animal and a plant, or are they kind of a fun, separate kind of life form?
You need to roll me nature. You need to roll me nature right now.
Okay, well, I don't think I'm good at nature, but I'll try.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good at nature!
Oh, you're good at
Since
nature.
when?
Wow. I need to look back over so we can actually see your rolls on stream. There we go. Well, that's Throgan, you think that like they're kind of an animal, kind of a plant, yeah? I'm not quite sure what that means, but you've never seen one of them walk around, so.
They're not a bird.
They are not a bird, this is true. Look, I don't know. Like I said, maybe we can unfungus her. I don't even know. But you 3, I guess, are allowed to stay here for like however long you're gonna stay here. I mean, you're still sick. You smell awful. And he, like, the wolf gestures to you, Throgan.
I'm edible right now.
Oh, everything's edible.
I'm poisonous.
It should be. God damn that he's the father of the year. It should be now updated in Gurünk items, I think it may have accidentally classed as a magical item, even though it has no effect and it is of common rarity.
Wonderful.
It's a magical item to Yuka.
It's magical to her.
It's magical
Yuka's
boots
boot.
of staying polished, I guess.
It's magical in that they were made with love.
Yes, I have Yuka's boots now.
All right, wonderful. Now, you three watch as this wolf, if you don't try to stop him, turns around and begins to walk out of the clearing towards the same direction the creeper vines receded to.
How would we leave this place, by the way? Because I
Huh?
just kind of followed where Yuka told us to go,
Oh!
and we don't have Yuka.
Yeah, fair enough. 1 minute. And you just sort of see as this wolf reaches the edge of the clearing, sits down and howls very briefly. And a small little blackbird flies out of the tree line towards you, Cam. I'll show you the way out.
Can, like, I hold out my arm in case it wants to sit?
Yeah,
It
it
just flying
flutters
sounds
down
a
and
little-
it rests on your hand.
Awesome.
It's only about the size of, like, a roll of bread. Like, it's a very small little birdie.
You gonna show us the way out?
Good.
So-
That's... Yes, we should. Depending on what the time is, I think it was only like
It's like the morning.
midday or whatever.
Yeah, it's midday.
Yeah.
Go midday.
We can probably make it to Ironcliff. Therigan, are you sick? People, they've all said that you were sick. Are you okay?
I haven't been that connected to my body since I got, birded.
Right.
So I assume I'm sick. I got bitten, right?
Oh, right. That's...
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Your dog did bite you.
The dog did bite me multiple times.
Right.
Yeah,
I suppose
I did almost die, so I assume that I might be sick.
Okay, because I didn't see many symptoms on Lady Yuka, but she
What are the
also
symptoms?
didn't. I don't know. She didn't share that with any of us. She was just like she's
Yeah.
sick and she had to go home.
Lady
but
Yuka's body
please
is
not
just
the
like
most
floating
open
in
person.
the orb.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look at it.
Well, if I know anything about, like, cocoons, Yuka's gonna become a butterfly when we fix her, so.
Yes.
How about...
Am I feeling anything? Am I experiencing
Throgan,
disease?
Throgan, you know that when you were bit, it felt as if ice was being like shot through your veins. You have felt a little bit cold ever since then, and if you really sort of sit and you focus on it, you can feel it's almost as if your blood is turning to sludge a little bit more every second that you're alive.
Guys, if we're talking about symptoms and disease, have you ever felt like have you ever felt like a stew but cold?
You mean like a gazpacho?
No, like more chunky.
Clam
Less
chowder?
water and chunk, but more just chunk, watery chunk. But then cold, ice.
Mud?
Like that. Not mud. That's not chunky enough. It's not the right
Gravelly
texture.
mud.
If I really think hard about that, but I might just be imagining things since, like I said, I don't connect well to my body. I guess there is some possibility that I might be turning into like a chunkier gazpacho.
Okay.
That sounds inconvenient.
Let me go if you go from cold to like more like ice or frozen. I think that would be bad.
Yeah, I will try.
Cool. We should probably get moving the faster we can get a healer, the faster. Lady Yuka's not egg-shaped. Eggified?
Yeah, yolk.
Yoked.
The egg.
Okay.
Yolked.
So, upon you saying that, Fig, the bird that has been sitting on Cam's arm takes off and begins to flit toward, just out of the woods. Throgan, you notice that this bird is leaving the same way that you arrived here. So Cam and Fig, it is a different way than you two got here.
Are the deer tracks still here?
Do you want the deer tracks or do you want the unicorn tracks?
I also have a bird.
If we want to find the doctor, I shouldn't follow the unicorn tracks, but also, damn that unicorn. No, I want to go home, so I assume that I should follow the deer tracks that led me here.
That is fair. Yeah, so the deer tracks are in the same direction that this bird is flying.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so if you all follow this little blackbird out of the clearing, this time you notice Fig and Cam, that as you are leaving the woods, it is a much easier journey than when you were entering them. Fig, where before the creeper vines seemed to grab onto your ankles to try and prevent you from going further, now it's almost as if they're brushed out of your way before you could trip on them. You're not sure if this is magical in nature or if this is divine, but whatever it is certainly making your travel a lot easier. After just about an hour or two of walking, you all emerge from the tree line, and you see that you are very close to a merchant's road, which Throgan, Cam, Fig, you all know leads to Ironcliff. It is at this point that the bird leaves you, choosing to rest on one of the branches at the edge of the forest instead of going further.
Will you be here when we try to go back? Bird?
The bird
Tweet, tweet. Wait, can't I talk to...
I don't think you can talk to birds.
I also thought you weren't a bird.
I'm not a bird now.
So then why would you be able to speak bird?
Because I'm good at doing bird things. Yeah, I'm good at languages and mimicry. I just tweet at the bird. Tweet, tweet.
If it tweets like a bird.
No, okay, hear
If
me
it
out.
tweets like a bird.
Throgan, I'm going to need a performance check from you, because here's the thing. You can mimic sounds you have heard, yes.
Uh-huh.
Mimicking somebody saying
This bird hasn't
hello,
mimicked any sounds.
See, here's the thing. Mimicking a bird saying hello is not the same as telling a bird, will you be here when I get back?
No,
So I'm going to need a performance check.
Okay.
As Therian does this, I'm just gonna get out like a little like corner of rations, which is basically bread for me, to like as a thank you.
Yeah, performance. I couldn't mayhaps do persuasion or nature, right? You wouldn't allow me?
No, I would not allow either of those, no.
Okay. Hey, it's something.
You know what? With a 16, you have successfully not offended this bird.
Wow.
Unfortunately,
Amazing.
you have done the equivalent of like, hello, car wash? Ambulance? So you watch as the bird just sort of like looks at you, tweet,
Uh-huh.
and then takes the ration from Fig before flying off.
Okay. It's not gonna stay here. That's a shame.
You three.
It's got bird things to do, Therigan. It's. I know you don't do bird things, but an actual bird would do bird things.
Hey, you never know. It might be another dwarf turned bird. This wizard might be turning every dwarf he sees into a bird. He definitely had no reason to turn me into one, so I wouldn't know why he wouldn't just turn everyone into a bird, you know? And there's so many birds, some of them have got to be not birds. Right?
Okay.
But
So
Hang on, are you
moving
telling
onwards.
me that Throgan has a conspiracy theory that most birds aren't birds?
Not most, but definitely a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Oh no.
Cam and Fig, As you two begin on the path towards Ironcliff, if you cast a glance over your shoulder, you would be able to see off in the distance near the horizon the previous location of that salesman that visited you last time, reminding you of the items that you two still carry. Throgan, you begin the trek, leading your friends back to Ironcliff, where you are from. A little bit more anxious now that you know that you feel like a cold gazpacho.
Chunkier the thing gazpacho.
Sorry, a
actually.
chunkier gazpacho.
Yeah.
And by the time you get back,
Refrigerated soup.
a soup. By the time you get back to Ironcliff, it is night has not fallen yet, though the dusk hours have set in. You are greeted at the gate.
Oh.
Go ahead.
On the road, as the reminder of items, Cam, didn't you say when we met up with Thurgan again that you had something for them?
Did I have something for them? Oh, from like the
From the weird guy.
statue person?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did you
I don't
have?
know where I left it. I have a
Yeah.
thing. Give me a second. I just start digging through my bag because I don't know where I put my shit. I was busy with other stuff.
Yeah, so we had this weird encounter wizard patron thing that like gave us items in
A
I don't know
wizard.
if it was
you
in
said.
return for something. It wasn't a wizard. It was more like a shadowy nothingness that didn't speak.
That's better.
Okay. But yeah, so I got a book. Cam.
I have the small wooden box, and I don't
We
know
have-
how to move it to someone else's inventory, but I have the box.
The only thing that you can do is remove it from your own inventory and have Throgan add it through the card deck.
Yeah, I don't remember like the exact details about the box. Oh yeah, it was like a alchemy kid's first playset type situation.
Yes.
It was like miniaturized, but it might be magical, so I don't know if it like grows
So
like
box.
to bigger sizes, but yeah. We thought that
Incredible.
Cam thought that would be cool for you. And I don't know if
Thank you so
it
much.
could help you right now, since you are feeling like a soup.
I have another thing.
Mhm.
And I don't think Lise remembered to fix this, but I have alchemy item number 16.
I don't remember this, so no, I did not remember to fix this.
It's just a random, currently unidentified alchemy thing, which is not shiny, like explicitly not shiny.
Okay.
And
Oh, it's
it looks
from
like it
the-
could be useful. So
Is it from the Broken Lab, right? Under the mansion?
Yeah.
Incredible.
You have a
Thank you so
box
much.
That is.
so you can also equip
Yes.
alchemy 16.
Yes, you have a
Incredible
not
work.
shiny alchemy ingredient. This is correct. I do remember this. Yeah. I never
That was the
determined what that
important
was.
part. Well, if Vogan just puts in number 16, you can decide at some point.
I can sure decide when that ends up being a MacGuffin, yes. So,
Is it a MacGuffin if I already have it?
yes, because it turns into a MacGuffin when you need it.
Oh.
It's like I've always known how to make a lockpick from the filament of a light bulb.
MacGyvering the crap out of this.
So, passing over this box to Throgan. Throgan, it is a box the size of a small book. It is made out of a gorgeous wood that is, it's not heavy necessarily, but it is a very nice weight in your hands. And if you undo the latch on the front and open it up, it unfolds into 3 tiers of alchemy equipment. Now, Throgan, this looks identical to the set of alchemy equipment you have, with the one difference that everything appears to be about 1/10 the size. The beakers could fit very, very nicely between 2 fingers. The bottles of components and jars of dusts aren't much bigger than a bottle of fingernail polish. Do you try and remove any of these from the case?
I have the lid opened, I assume. I first look around. Oh, can I open it?
Yeah, you can open it. It's not locked.
I open it and I look around if things move the way I expect them to.
They
I
do.
just go look around.
Yeah, if you move everything in the box, everything moves according to gravity. The viscosities are the same. Nothing is out of the ordinary other than the size.
It is lighter than normal, but it's not that much lighter. It's only about half as, like, it's got 50% lighter, but a tenth of the size. That's interesting. I try to touch it. I don't really grab anything out. I just feel the equipment.
Yeah, feeling the equipment, it's glassware. You absolutely notice that it is glassware. It's also very well made. It's not like some of the cheap stuff you had when you first started experimenting.
Nice.
Ta-da. Okay, rock up to town. 2 days late, one party member lost.
So you walk up to town 2 days late, one party member lost, and you say hello to the gate guards. Fig, Cam, Throgan, you recognize that these are some of the boys, the frat but also unofficial militia of Ironcliff. And one of them gives you like a very nice salute, while the other one just sort of does like the head sup. Probably you, Throgan. I feel like they know you, or at least know of you. Walking.
Oh no.
Walking into town, because you're not stopped by these three. Walking into town, you notice that Ironcliff at night is as you would expect it to be. Now, this is a city that is built inside of a mountain, so walking inside begins with a slow decline into a previous mine shaft. You walk down these rough stairs that have been worn smooth with time, and into the topmost layer.
Yeah, I'm just fixing my part as I go, just like stepping the steps.
You build them up like a little bit to account for the last centimeter of wear and tear.
Yeah.
Yeah. You walk down into the first sort of hallway path, and the very interesting thing about Ironcliff, to those of you, or especially to you, Fig, who didn't grow up here, and you, Cam, who also didn't grow up here, is the pathways are on the sides of what looks to be a chasm. And this was a chasm that was hollowed out over thousands of years of Dwarven history, because it used to be an old, like an iron vein, hence the name Ironcliff. These paths have been carefully carved out of the walls, so one side has sheer rock face that has doors built into it, and the other side is a free drop, down, down, down into the mountain. The only thing letting you see the bottom are the fires and the molten rivers of the mine workers at the bottom. You arrive in the mercantile quarter. This is where a lot of shops are, a lot of imports get set up, along with some military outposts that were holdovers from the old Dragon War and the war against Oberon. Not particularly interesting to any of you at this point. You keep walking and eventually reach a little bit further in, more of a, let's call it cozy quarter, where those of you who live here know the drink is good and it's not too expensive. And there is a single tavern by the name of the Rusty Screw, inside of which you had previously met a man known as Vasil Vitali. Now, this is where we are going to change our story a little bit. Vasil. Oh no. Sorry, I'm trying to do things on stream very quickly and I just moved things that were not supposed to move. Now, Vasil Vitale. You have woken up in true Bachelor fashion from the worst dream
Pass that drum from your desk.
you have ever had. I've lost Sunny K. This is the funniest moment to have lost Sunny K.
Oh, I'm back.
She's back.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Vassal, you wake up from a terrible nightmare. That horrible woman of the woods that you had hired to do a simple job has arrived in your nightmares and cursed you, vassal Vitale, with being forgotten? Oh, she might have been intimidating, but it's nothing to worry about.
This is nothing. This simply has to be the product of an overactive imagination and a lack of industrious anything. This is nothing.
Vessel, you walk downstairs, down to the tavern floor where you will have breakfast waiting for you. After all, you are being paid for by one of the nobles of Ironcliff. Why ever would they not have breakfast ready for you? It's been there the last 4 days you've been waiting. And as you get downstairs, and as you walk over to your standard stool at the edge of the bar table, the barkeep doesn't look at you. He doesn't come over to you immediately. He finishes serving the few guests that he already had waiting. Cam, Fig, Throgan, you three would walk into the tavern at about this time.
I'll be with you in a moment. Excuse me!
Ugh.
Do we recognize him?
You three do recognize Vassal, yes.
I'm like,
Except for Fig.
like, no, so it's like, I'm like, let's ignore him because he's a dick.
I mean, he did agree to pay you, Fig. Like,
Yeah.
How much did I agree to pay them?
all of your money, because I think it's 10 gold pieces.
Oh, fuck! He's ruined!
But the thing is, like, I wanted to get some dirt on Vitale because I don't like his research notes. But, so I'm ignoring him.
I think it's funny, so I do whatever you do.
Vassal.
I beg
So,
your pardon.
just for my clarification, it is morning now, right?
It is evening. It is evening.
Evening. Oh,
He forgot the time. Okay, great.
I was going to say breakfast, but I will just knock on the bar, like,
It's a
Can I-
bachelor's breakfast. He's looking for dinner.
The bachelor's breakfast.
can I get some food for me and my friends, please, darling?
You watch as the barkeep.
Darling.
It's this burly man, dwarven, beard sort of braided very, very nicely, beads all interwoven within it. You see him come over, sort of wipe his head a little bit, throw a towel over his shoulder. I'm all right.
What, Phil?
That was my
I hope
background
you are.
falling part, actually, for real this time.
Oh! Oh no!
You need some time?
No, this is
I
fine.
know exactly what fell!
Yeah.
No, this is fine.
It's Nyarla.
It's
Yarn yard.
Yarn
It's
fell.
yarn yard.
Yeah.
Yarn yard fell.
Nyarly poo.
Yarn yard binks.
And he took all of my lights with him as well, along with like some other decorations. This is fine.
He is the void. Of
He
course he
is
takes
the
your
void.
lights.
So anyways,
Oh my god.
um,
He sucks. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I just looked at Vassal's character sheet again, which Nalise, our lovely dungeon master, made for me. This guy sucks. He's the worst. I love him. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm glad you like your horrible guy. Cam, you walk over to the bar and you see this dwarven man walk over towards you and Vassal. All right. First of all, don't shout at the barkeep. Not good. What can I get to you?
I wouldn't need to shout if you had my meal prepared, as you should have when I came down. The standard. Please.
This guy's a
Ma'am?
dick. This guy's an
And
asshole.
he looks at Cam. Ma'am, is he with you?
No. Like, I work for him sometimes, but I don't know this guy. Aside from that,
Got it.
I have been here every night this week with the same meal at the same time. Do not pretend as though we are
Neurodivergent.
strangers.
Sir?
Diversity win! This rat bastard is neurodivergent!
Sir, I don't know who you think you are, but I have never seen you in this bar before. So either you can try this again and order kindly and tell me what you want to eat, or you can leave.
I know not if you take me for a fool, but I have been here ordering roasted vegetables, racks of ribs, and roasted potatoes every night this week. I have put gold in your pocket and fire in your hearth. And I do not know if you take me for a fool, but I do not deserve to be taken for a ride of this nature. I am Vassal Vitali, and that is the last time I will tell you so.
Okay, I'm sure that name means something from where you're from, but I ain't never heard it around here. Now,
It means something to your guest book, my good sir.
my guest book. My guest book. You're telling
Yes,
me if I go
look
over
at
my
it
guest
right
book.
now.
You're telling me if I go
Big
over
does
my
not
guest
like
book.
conflict. He's going to a corner.
I love you, Fig.
I'm just staying
I
at the
went to
bar
school
because I
with
want
the
to order.
bartender. I feel so bad for him.
Fig and Vassal are cringe academician versus based academician.
You're telling me.
Based religious studies versus cringe med student.
Ah, yes, as normal.
Uh-huh.
I love you, Sunny K. So, you're telling me if I go over and I look in my guest book, I'm gonna see your name there.
With my own hand, you will see it there.
Tell you what, we'll make a bet out of it. If your name is in that book, I'll get you your meal, despite how absolutely rude you've been to me tonight. If it ain't, you're going out of this door one way or another. Got it?
Utterly absurd. But if it gets it done, then that is what we shall do.
Wonderful. And you watch as this dwarf, previously a very kind-looking individual, now very clearly fed up with the customers of this establishment, walks over to a very large leather-bound tome that he keeps on the side of the bar away from guests. He pulls it over, he puts it on the table. In front of you, Cam. Hey, you're going to be a witness, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful. And he flips
And
it
I
open.
just lean over to look.
Yeah, and he flips it open.
Mm-hmm.
He said you got here 4 days ago?
Aye.
Was that I or was that 5? The DM did not hear.
It was I for
Thanks.
like yes, obviously, dumbass.
And he flips it over and he's like
No,
very
I know
aggressive with
what
these
you meant.
pages at this point. And he gets to 4 days ago. Alright, Vassal Vitale. Shouldn't be hard to find. It's a bit of a unique name around these parts. And he starts dragging his finger down this page. And Chamomile, you see that Vassal's name is not in this book. In fact, there is a single line. Every single line of this book has been filled out very, very intricately with the same pen, with the same hand. There is one line that was skipped for some reason that no ink exists on anymore. Vassal, this is where your name is supposed to be.
Is this a jest to you? That is where I wrote my name. I wrote it myself to ensure something of this nature would not happen. It is right there. It should be right there. I wrote it myself. You bore witness. The evening I got here, you bore witness when I wrote this.
Sir.
I will not take this disrespect.
Sir.
I will not be taken for a ride of this nature.
Sir! All due respect. This is the first night I've seen you in my establishment, and your name ain't in the book. Get out.
These people saw me. You are
Need
late,
help?
by the way, all of
Yes,
you.
please.
I try to intimidate if Vasil.
Vasil,
Wait.
I'm actually going to need you to make a strength saving throw as this dwarven man begins to physically hoist you out the bar.
Oh my god! This
I
is so good.
help. Should I do athletics or animal handling?
Whatever your heart desires.
Okay. I didn't help a lot, but I was standing there. I'm
That's
trying to
all right.
help.
You know what? I will say that an 11 does successfully help because it was above Vassal's score. Yeah, between the two of you are able to sort of get Vassal under the armpits and just sort of throw him out of the bar. Vassal, this is the
Oh, that's
largest disrespect.
disrespectful!
This is the largest disrespect you've ever felt. There's mud on your trousers.
Oh no, not mad. I hope you're okay, dude. I'm sorry that he was such a bitch. He shouldn't have done that. That's awful.
Thanks for helping,
I hope you
Throgan.
don't get clients like this too often.
Thanks for helping, Throgan. Luckily, this is like one of the ones in a blue mood.
Great.
I'll add him to the ward so he can't come back in.
Good idea.
You want a beer?
I'd love a beer. Could the three of us also have a hot meal with that?
I mean, I can cover the beer for you, but like you'd have to pay for
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
I get that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll get that up for you.
Wonderful.
He's just standing in the doorway fuming.
Is there a window in the doorway? Can he see us?
There is a window in the doorway. He can see.
It's one of those Western bars, so there's just open.
It's just no. There's nothing in the door. It's just like an open stone doorway. You see him standing there. Yeah, you three have a lovely hot meal. It comes out. It's like roasted root vegetables, roasted tubers. There's like this very lovely slow braised mutton that has just all of these spices in it. Throw again. This tastes like home. This tastes like your grandmother's cooking. It's delicious. Cam, it's very spicy, but it's nothing you can't handle. I mean, you've had weirder stuff before. Fig. How is Fig with dwarven spice?
It's like, no, I'm actually okay. We had some, when I grew up, we had like, it was more like earthier spiciness, but like, this isn't bad.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like the difference between Thai and like harissa and like African cuisine.
Yeah. You have a lovely meal.
Thank you so much. The meal is incredible. It's so tasty.
No worries. It's roast day, so it's what we got.
Incredible.
Thanks again with the help with that guy.
No problem. I hope he doesn't bother you anymore.
Same. Anyways, let me know if you three need a room or anything. I'm pretty sure you all live around here, so.
Oh, thank you. How much is the meal, by the way?
2 copper. A piece.
Yep.
I
fork that over.
Yeah.
Also, question, like, from the inventory, I only got gold, but given that I'm like an artisan who does like odd jobs, can I just transform some of the gold into like equivalent amounts of silver and copper?
Yes.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah. Feel free to do your transactions, your conversions as you wish. So, I do believe this is a nice little spot to take a break. We are at about our hour and a half mark. So we are going to be going for a little bit of time, taking a short break. Chat, feel free to do the same thing. And when we come back, Vassal will be officially joining our adventuring party. So, we will be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, and I will see you then. And we are back. I sure hope. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We have had our short little break. We hope that you have had your short little break. And I have gotten some very good questions from my players in the meantime. So, the first thing that has happened is, of course, Yuka has died. Yuka has perished, and we now have the player character Vasil Vitali in this party. The other thing that has happened is, Throgan, you have asked me a very important question. Would you like to ask that again on air?
Yeah, I have a small wooden box. If you remember the box that was a tenth of the size of a normal alchemy box. And I see that it requires attunement, and I would like to attune to it during the meal that we just had.
I would say that the meal you just had counts as a short rest, so you may absolutely do that. I have marked it in your character sheet that you are now attuned to it. And I'm going to see if I can also identify that item for you, because it has different identified text. This is a box called the Alchemy of the Feathered. You notice that as you have attuned to it, there is a small inscription on the inside of the lid that is a crow's feather.
Mm-hmm.
That's been just very gently burned into the velour. Yes, Cam has also had a short rest. Please take your short rest on your character sheet. So,
I want my wild shape back.
please have your wild shape back. That is important. Now, does anyone have any other questions they would like to ask me before we continue with our game? Of my players, I should specify.
I know Big has gone through Vasil Vitale's notes a little bit.
Yeah.
In the previous camp where I sat down and I read them. Because it was a few weeks ago. Is there anything because I know it was if I recall, it was more on the topic that necromancy is a hack and that we can figure this out.
That's about what it was, yeah.
Okay, so that is currently my impression. If there's anything else important in said notes that I've forgotten, I would like to be I'm going out with this meal. I've flipped through all of them to refresh my memory.
Oh, we've hit a new spot on the bingo card. I just dripped my water all over myself. Yeah, so it was mostly that. It was mostly that necromancy is a hack. That it is that any resurrection done with necromancy is not true resurrection, because the soul has separated from the body and one of those two parts has died.
Got it.
There was also a short amount of discussion on basically what does that mean in the long term. If there is somebody who has died who has been resurrected, does that intrinsic refutation of life, does that have an impact on the souls around that person, on the lives around that person? Along with basically a call to action at the end of the only true way to become immortal, the only true way to make a humanoid immortal is to prevent death in the first place. And Fig, you've read a lot of scientific journals, so you know that. Very specifically, it sounds like that might be his current goal.
It's
yeah.
Fig doesn't know this, but Morgan's May's here being he wants to do something with those telomeres, huh?
May, he might be wanting to do something with those telomeres right there. Become lobster.
Fig has no idea what those are. Lobster, man. Anyway.
I was just about to say, we're entering into a new phase of the clinical trial involving decapods.
Of course he would call them decapods.
Maybe you can get the same wizard I got.
Oh, fuck yourself.
There are too many science people in this thing right now. Anyway, sorry.
No, this is fun. This is why I get to make jokes about, infection, R0 values, because I know that, 3 of you will get them and the other one can catch on. So, we rejoin our motley crew of adventurers in the Rusty Screw, a tavern run by a dwarven man who just threw one of the party members out of the door. The other 3 of you have had your lovely meal. Throgan, you've had a beer on the house. I don't know if the other 2 of you have ordered anything. But it's about time for you to think about leaving if you don't want to stay the night. And as you all step out the door, you see that there is one man still standing
Before
there. Yeah.
before I leave, could I just get a to-go box of the same dinner?
Yes, of course. It will be another 2 copper.
Awesome.
You
This
needed
this
more
guy
rations?
No, this guy is also my boss. Like, he hires me pretty much the most out of all of my clients because he's so fucking indecisive. Might as well get him dinner.
Out of character, I am begging you to start a union.
Unionize!
Cannot let this man treat you like this, Chamomile.
I don't care that much. It's just, I do want him to hire me again because otherwise someone else is gonna get the easy money. I can move a doorway like 2 feet that way. I don't care.
As an American, I am quaking in my boots.
Chamomile has just like
That's
a
fair.
filter in their brain where anytime Vassal is speaking and it's not a direct instruction on what to do with their home, Cam just doesn't hear it.
That's quite likely, actually.
Does Vassal have a... Vassal does not have another living quarter in this town, does he?
No.
Who was the can I do a history check to see which family was sponsoring me this time, or is that
Absolutely
information
you can.
really given?
Do a history check.
All right. Damn.
Something tells me
The
that
grift is
went
still strong.
Incredibly. Wow, the grift is strong. You actually know. Give me just 2 seconds to find the name of this dwarf. You know that you had actually been hired by or not hired, but rather sponsored by a very important person to Ironcliff. Now, Vassal,
Naturally.
you had been hired to basically just do your medical research in Ironcliff as a show of good faith, as a show of, like, yes, we care about the medical sciences, we care about people and everything like that, and you actually are being paid by the Ironcliff Council. Now, for those of you who have grown up in Ironcliff, and Vassal for you who had to learn very, very quickly what this means, the Ironcliff Council is the government of Ironcliff. Ironcliff has a very unique government in the sense that it is a monarchy that was built upon militaristic might during the War of the Dragons. So currently, General Nulladzan is the leader of Ironcliff and is a training descendant from one General Hoscati, one of the dwarven generals that actually pushed back and oversaw the reintegration. Thanks, reintegration of the continent of Oberon to mainland Gurünk. General Nulladzan had actually been trained directly by General Hoscati, and therefore, once she decided to step down from the role, ended up taking the mantle as Ironcliff's leader. The position is a lot less militaristic now than it had been 250 years ago, though due to the training that General Nulladzan had gone through, there are still those vestiges in the government. You are being hired by the Ironcliff Council, which means on all of your paperwork is officially the title General Nulladzan. He is the one that you would know, Vassal, that your money comes from, though usually you are interacting with either one of his subordinates or one of the paper workers in the council.
Do I still have my paperwork in my vest? And does it still have my name printed on it?
Oh, that's a good question. You do have your paperwork in your vest. However, you notice that your name is no longer printed on the paper. It is blank where your name should be.
compatriots,
Mm-hmm.
if you would forgive my previous outburst, he makes direct eye contact with the bartender.
The bartender is not looking.
Reluctantly flips him a gold.
You're outside the tavern.
Yep.
Just break it up
There's
the
an-
floor, peasant.
There's an open doorway. He's trying to get it to the bar from the outside.
Roll me a dexterity attack roll.
Sleight of hand.
You're a bard. You have dagger proficiency. I don't know.
Fine. Shit, how do I do just a normal attack roll on here?
Just give me a dex check and then.
Would it just add?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We'll do it. We'll do it live.
But yes, that's what we're doing. It's a live stream.
Oh no.
Oh, it's too short. It doesn't get onto the counter. It just sort of falls onto the floor.
Does it at least?
Like it's inside, but it's on the floor.
I would place it on the counter myself, but I am banned from the premises. Now,
Is that our gold that you're spending? The one
don't.
Yeah,
touch
Throgan,
it.
you're pretty
It
sure
is not for you. The gold that is yours is
Throgan,
here.
Throgan, you were definitely promised 10
This
gold.
this
for
is
guy.
yours.
What?
This is yours.
You were promised 10 gold by this guy.
Yeah.
Do they know how much he has on his person?
No.
Let me check.
I was promised.
Give it to me. I won't look
X
inside.
amount
I
of
won't
days
look inside. I
wages.
don't need to. I
Can I
know the way
I
to
have a
gold.
magic trick. Yoink.
hold on a second. Hang on. I gotta see what this idiot has.
I
This idiot
can
has 10 gold.
give you a place to stay in my house. I live here.
Oh, wait, shit! Hang on a second. He's going to cast Unseen Servant and have the servant pick up the gold and hand it to the bartender.
The servant, like you guys see that this like little spectral like creature, like the gold just starts sort of floating in the air and walking towards the counter. And the servant is just too short for the bar. So it sort of stands there and like the gold just goes up. And you see the bartender just sort of looks over, looks out the doorway, squints, and then takes the gold and puts it in his vest pocket.
You think that's gonna make him want to give you a room?
While they're talking, I just go, food to Vasil. I don't care about the talking. Just
Yeah, you
here's
hand
dinner.
over like
eat.
the ceramic sort of dome that you had been given by the barkeep.
I am grateful for this tagine.
You need a place to
He just
stay,
holds-
right?
I believe I do.
I need a healer. If you come with me, you can stay at my place, but you need to come with us to heal our friend and me.
Yes, about your friend.
Vassal,
I would like to have a word with you.
Vassal, would you like to roll
Do
any
you
sort
wanna
of
do that
medicine
here?
check on Throgan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, not here. Not here. What are you doing? Don't get out of your medical bag. We're in the street. Don't do that. This is... You can't just expose my entire medical history to everyone. Get away from me.
Vassal, you're able to just do a quick, like, look up and down on Throgan. You don't, like, examine him or touch him or anything like that. Certainly no exposing of the medical history, but you just give him, like, a little once-over. And you are able to identify that he is under some sort of poisoned effect. Just by the way, like, his feathers are drooping a little bit, and he's not as shiny as he used to be. You are pretty sure that this is outside of your ability to heal on your own.
My avian colleague, I do believe you're looking rather worse for wear.
I think I just told you that I needed a healer, but...
In a way with which I am intimately familiar.
I don't need
Yeah,
to get...
about that. So I know that we were sent to retrieve some of your notes, Mr. Vitale.
This is sensitive, just as we would not disclose one's entire medical portfolio to the ears of the masses. We should not discuss
Mhm.
such things in public, lest such publications be misunderstood and potentially maligned. If you would,
Y'all
if
want
I
to come
could
back to
beg
my
your
place?
pardon, it would be my honor to be a guest in your home.
I thought so. Good. Let's go.
Yeah, Thurgan,
Thorgan.
why don't you?
Do you want to explain to our lovely party what your
Thurgan.
home looks like?
It's actually a few streets away from here. It's not in the best part of town. It's a little bit of a shoddy home. You know, I've never had that much. I've just been well off enough. We walk in through the door. It's just a big wooden door. And everything was still very obviously made for my dwarf form. I don't I just don't fit exactly right into the chairs like I used to. I give everyone a little bit of tea, but like it's it's obvious that this house is just not entirely meant for me.
I should
Even though I
stress
have
as
the key.
well. I should stress as well. This was a home built for a dwarf. So Cam, Fig, Vassal, you are very tall. You are
Yeah.
very tall. Fig,
Yeah.
you are stooped in order to fit into this house.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
and the
I
cups
will
are very
just
small.
I will lose 3 inches of length and just have my horns decrease in size.
Smart.
Oh,
But
isn't that
not
peculiar?
not what, but just gradually. That it takes 5 minutes, so it's not immediately obvious unless you're actively paying attention to me. Also, I make my chair fit me.
You can give me a perception check, Vassal, if you want.
I can find my cursor.
Can't help you with that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know. Interesting.
You don't notice that Cam is changing sizes.
Even though it's happening right in front of him?
In 5 minutes.
It takes
it's
like 5
slow.
Oh, for like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
I offer
Gotcha.
all of you a kind of small seat at my stone table. It's all a bit crickety. You hear it creak. I need to oil this place up.
Can I mend some shit for you?
I would love that actually. I just don't.
I'm just gonna tune out this entire conversation with Fazel because I would have anyway, and I just go around fixing cracks in the table and making the chair slightly bigger so Fig can actually fit in it.
Thank you.
Giles
Just a
will be
casual
here soon
home
enough with the
renovation.
rest of my belongings. The remainder of them are still in the room I previously occupied, but have no bureaucratic evidence of ever having checked into. So that
Then
will
how
be
would he
here
know that
shortly.
it's your stuff?
Because he's my servant.
Oh, the unseen
And-
one. Yeah. Okay.
Quite frankly, who would stop him? He's adorable.
We flash sideways to the tavern.
He's
where,
unseen.
there's just a whole bunch of stuff floating through the doorway, and the barkeep is looking at it.
Giles, my god! In one package! In one package!
Flashback to you guys.
Yeah. Perfect. So there shouldn't be anyone listening here. Go over. Give us our money. Give us our money, please.
Seeing as how your friend is no longer with us, and how she...
Sorry, she what? Lady Yuka did. You were
Here's
going to
your
say
share.
something?
Here is your share.
And where's
You
Yuka's
tell
share?
me yours, and I'll tell you mine.
Where's Yuka's share?
Vassal, how much
Well,
gold are you
seeing as to
handing
how
over?
she isn't here... Huh?
Vassal, how much gold are you giving them?
Giving them a 9 gold.
So Yuka's share is only one. Okay, sure, whatever.
Throgan's just okay with this. Fair enough.
I'm getting more money than I thought I would.
Now was it now if I do recall, this was not quite the full amount that was promised to us, Mr. Vitale.
Well, I'll certainly have to do my best to make it up to you, and hopefully when we travel together, the opportunity shall afford itself for us to make a pretty penny as a merry band.
Okay, so
Broke,
you'll
aren't
give
you?
Yuka her 250, 2.5 gold piece later.
Well, of course,
Okay,
she is
perfect.
not here, so it should make no difference to her whether or not it is paid as a lump sum or in installments.
Perfect. I'm adding 3 gold to my inventory.
So I
I'm
suppose the
only
other
gonna take
6...
one because my typical day's wages is like 2 silver, and I'm just rounding up significantly.
Go on then, take what is owed you.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot deny that you did the job that I asked of you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, funny thing about that,
Yeah,
Vassal,
you did.
you haven't received your notes yet.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I think I see that Fig has them.
Okay.
Yeah, I have them.
Okay.
The thing is
Yeah, I
on.
have them.
And
Just,
now to check their quality, I do recognize that competency may be skewed as a result of your experience
I
opposed to
definitely
mine.
hold it out of his reach if he tries to grab them.
Very funny. I've already had a difficult enough evening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Let's
but you
not
did
play this game any longer.
you did fail to mention that there are certain experiments happening at said location.
You went to retrieve my research notes, and I hired you as mercenaries and adventurers.
Mercenaries.
Folk.
My God, man.
Familiar enough with the ways of steel and the ways of woods. Could you not handle the beasts out there yourself? It is not my responsibility if what happened at the home that does not belong to me, but I was invited into as a guest, fell into disrepair, and as such, there were animals and beasts lurking around that meant harm.
Vassal,
What responsibility is that of mine?
Vassal,
I offered you gold, you offered steel.
I do also want to stress, I'm just going to jump in here for a second. Vassal, you do not know of the beast that was in the basement, because that happened after you had left.
Right, he's assuming that when they talk about, experiments, they're like, it's not my fucking fault that, their dog got out of his cage because the house exploded, or whatever the hell happened.
Yeah. Cheers.
We're not talking about normal wood critters. We're not talking about a stray wolf or whatever. You know that, right?
I would know that if you were to hand me my notes and disclose the actual events that transpired, which has yet to happen.
Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna tell? Should I?
I'm waiting.
I am fully spaced out, just fixing everything to be bird coffin size.
Mm-hmm. You see, Mr. Vitale, as you might have noticed on one of our party, Drogan, there was a little bit more than a wild beast in said location. There was a demon beast in said location, one that was seemingly summoned from a circle like this, and I show him I roughly sketched out what the circle and sigils.
Sure.
That had 2 heads, 1 dragon, 1 dog, that has very much harmed our dear friend Brogan. I'm not talking about
our
Yuka yet.
other friend.
Oh, okay, you are.
Wait. No, yeah. We can, okay. And our other friend is also in need of help. You said something about her earlier. What did you want to say?
I do believe that my current predicament may be somewhat influenced by your friend and her abilities.
What did she do?
I can neither confirm nor deny that she really did anything, for who can really say that dreams are reality or
Incredible.
can prophesize anything that will come to pass, for they're just dreams. They're only visions of the mind, ideas that need to be pruned, and the garbage
that's the one.
disposal of the
Yeah.
brain.
That's the one she did for you. That's great. That's good to know.
So, are you telling me you mean that what happened with maybe said Tavern Keep would happen to maybe the rest of the world?
Perhaps.
Then
There's
I
a
don't know
reason
why
you're not
you want
speaking.
me to hand over these notes when maybe your name would be wiped from them.
You wouldn't dare.
Are they even your notes?
Fig, do you check the notes?
Good question.
I would love to check the notes.
Fig. Hey, Fig. Almost as if before your eyes, you notice that the authorship line begins, like the ink just begins to vanish off the page.
I mean,
Can I
to
do
my
it?
knowledge, there's no author of these notes.
Can I
Anyone
roll a
could have written
contested
that.
sleight of hand to grab the notes out of his hand?
Can I also sleight of hand that?
Yeah, go ahead. Fig, do you
Oh,
want to
sleight of
contest
hand
this?
each other.
Fig, do you want to contest this?
Yeah, yeah.
I want a dexterity save from you, Fig. I
Come
want
on,
a
big
sleight
money,
of hand
big
from
money, big-
Krogan and Vassal.
Yeah, fair. Where
Big money,
is
big
Fig
money, big
is
money,
just
big money, big
possessively
money.
hoarding them.
saving throws, dex? Oh, I'm
Oh,
not
no.
great at dex. Anyway. What's that?
Fig, you watch as, first of all, a half-elf hand goes shooting towards you. And very quickly after that, a bird hand. And you were able to just pull the notes away. Like, you hold them over your head.
Yeah.
Which is
Even
touching
if
the
I'm, like,
ceiling. Like, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You have them.
Now,
Giles. Before his unseen servant goes
Giles.
away, and has brought.
You
Seems
see
Giles.
again,
And has brought.
Throgan's front door opens, and there's just like this small satchel of stuff that comes like floating in.
Vassal rifles through his satchel, pulls out the notebook that he was last working in, takes out a quill, and begins to write his own name.
Vassal, your name does get written. And as soon as your pen stroke is done, it begins to vanish off the page.
No! You hold in your hand my life's work. We may not come from the same place, but if you destroy it...
I never said anything about destroying it.
I was just gonna claim it.
You undo what harmed Yuka. This should be over, right?
Yes,
So
those were the terms.
I think there's a deal to be made there.
I'll help you. I know a cleric,
Perfect.
and I can help her too. And if you should do anything to my notes before they are ready for publication, if you should take any credit that is not your own, or anyone else's,
I would not take credit for these notes if it was the only research I ever had access to.
And them's fighting words from Fig.
Hold on a second.
Fig's too honorable to.
What is this?
Okay.
Or he,
What's the hold on
or
a second?
Fig
I
just
know, I don't know what's going
fundamentally
on.
disagrees with the research.
Vassal has not developed a heart-throbbing crush on Fig today.
Today, oh no. Okay.
Today. He's a big, broad academician. He's an expert in his field. Why, Vassal is a confirmed bachelor for a reason. No one's been fit for his standards quite as yet.
Oh, sentences I can't say on air
Oh,
because
no.
then people know my inspiration. Alright. Anyways. So,
Then,
I will jump in here quickly as the DM because I heard one of my personal homebrew rules get invoked right there. I heard Vassal, you said, I know a cleric, which I do believe falls under the I know a guy rule. So, would you, Vassal, like to give me a name for this cleric and how you know them? And then a d20 roll.
It's the head cleric of the council. They have either the means to do it by their own hand or to find the finest bedside manner and medical expertise trained physician in all of Ironcliff. I'm trying to come up with a dwarven name that fits the dwarven names that you have made, and I'm drawing a blank without my bucket of resources. So we'll go with, her name is Dr. Huscati.
Oh no, okay.
Dr.
You know,
Huscati Maroke.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could just leave the last name and then make a first one up later, but okay.
Got it. Dr.
Which
Huscati Moreau.
which Dr. Huscati Maroke, which is the equivalent of like Dr. John Smith Leslie.
Well, now we have a Dr. Huscati Moreau, which is certainly not going to get confused with the second in command of Ironcliff, Huscati. This is fine. You know a guy. I need
They're just married.
She's married. I need a d20 roll from you with this guy you know.
Just this
Or I
is a
guess
random
with
luck
this
check,
lady
right?
you know. Yep, it's a random luck check. Basically,
Okay,
does this lady like you? Do you owe her a favor?
Does she know you?
Also that.
Does she remember you?
Probably not anymore. Oh shoot! Hang on a second. Is it okay if I just roll something that doesn't have a modifier to it because I'm forgetting my
in the
keystrokes?
chat. You can also just in the chat say /R when d20.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Let's see if this works or if I look silly. Oh, it works.
It's
Beauty.
nice.
I mean,
Please! Please!
I don't see the roll yet. It's not come in on my end.
Yeah.
Ah, there it
You see
is. Wonderful. Well, you certainly do know someone. And you know Dr. Huscati Marog. So, back to our scene. Would you guys like to do anything further in Throgan's home? Including, but not limited to, taking a long rest or talking more.
Can I do a more thorough investigation or like medical check on Throgan, or is there like more to the check we previously did? Because I'm remembering the mechanic. Out of character, I'm remembering the
Vassal, look at your
mechanics of
spells.
Yuka, and I'm getting scared.
Vassal, look at your spells.
Yes. Okay. I would like to cast Detect Poison and Disease, please.
I thought you did. Cool.
Thank you.
This is why I like making character sheets for my player, Sunny K, because sometimes I think she'll understand what I'm giving her, and then sometimes she doesn't. Now, remind me.
No, we'll get to it later.
You can sense the presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 foot of you. You can also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by yada 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 yada, etc. This will last up to 10 minutes with concentration. So, Vassal, you cast Detect Poison and Disease.
First of all, because Vassal remembered something from his medical training before he was not accepted into medical school for the third time.
Oh no.
Throgan,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to perform a medical examination upon you with your full and willing consent. Would you prefer we do this in this room or elsewhere, and may I touch you?
You can touch me, preferably out of this room. My house is a two room location. So I just bring you to a kind of multi-purpose bedroom unit.
Lovely.
Yeah, you walk into the multi-purpose
Do I need to
bedroom
like
unit.
say anything or multi-purpose bedroom unit?
Yeah, so you cast Detect Poison and Disease. Please mark off one of your spell slots, Vassal.
It's been done.
You are going to immediately, like, Throgan metaphysically lights up. Whatever is affecting Throgan is poison, and it is a bad poison, Vassal. Vassal, you are aware that this poison comes from a failed alchemy experiment. Very specifically, a failed alchemy experiment that has a large necromantic influence. At this point, Vassal, this is more necromancy than alchemy. You recognize that this poison is going to take effect anytime Throgan begins to rest. You think...
This is a disease that works rather insidiously, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You think, and Vassal, this
What do I think?
Vassal, this is the point where I'm going to tell you like out of character information that you can discuss in character as you wish. You are aware that Throgan will have to make a Constitution saving throw every night except for this first one. And on a failed Constitution saving throw, will be taking 1d10 maximum HP damage. This first night, it is a guaranteed 1d10 of maximum HP damage.
Gotcha.
I have a question, Annalise.
Yeah.
Didn't I technically already take a short rest?
Yes, but it activates on long rests.
Okay.
And also, I didn't make you take the damage when you were not here in game, because that is mean.
Yeah, thank you.
No
I
worries.
appreciate it.
No worries.
Sorry, it's retroactively
Vassal,
casting Unseen Servant
you
in the thing.
think that with your current medical knowledge, you would be able to prevent Throgan from perishing immediately if you had some way of increasing Throgan's maximum HP. It would be a false life. It would be a necromantic life. And as insidious as that is to the living of the world, it would at least keep him alive.
I have nothing on my person and no means by which to make that which you need to prolong your current state, prevent it from worsening.
Mm-hmm.
But even if my friend does not recognize me when we arrive, I can tell you what it is you will need in order to better stand a chance of healing and survival. If she has it available, we will need something that staves off the infection. For what is happening now is when your body goes into that state of rest, the poison that is otherwise laid dormant and is very slowly decaying at your tissue, necrotizing it, acts then faster when it does believe that the body has had a chance to mount its defenses. It launches an all-right attack. So we're going to need to do something about that before you next fall asleep.
You're telling me that if I sleep that I will die immediately?
Unlikely immediately, but you will suffer a massive blow to your health, and it's only a matter of days, perhaps hours, before your organs cease functioning altogether. So, let's do something about that.
Not sleep?
it matters not whether you're conscious or otherwise. If you are resting and vulnerable for an extended period of time, the damage will be done.
So if I just tinker all night and never really rest.
I'm gonna just jump in here.
Yeah.
Throgan, if you avoid taking long rests, the poison doesn't activate, but you do start getting exhaustion levels.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
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 Sounds fun. I'll try it.
Let's go! Let's go!
My friend.
I vibe checked my player correctly. All right.
You're a madman, but your health is your own, and to you I say, good luck.
Yeah, I used to work in service industry. I know I know how to work on my last few rats.
You used to work in the service industry. No kidding.
So,
And as permanent, like, this is expensive, okay? What?
So, would the four of you like to take a long rest here?
No.
You're not
Fun
stay here.
question to ask.
I'm just gonna be at the, like, yeah. I'm just gonna be doing things all night. I'm not gonna rest.
That is
No, I'm
fair.
gonna go back to my academic, my little boat hole and do some stuff. Get some other research done.
Yeah.
What time is it right now in game?
It's gonna be after sunset at this point. Think like 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
If Giles has only been up for like 45 minutes at this point, can I have the last thing he does before he dissipates be to deliver a missive to Dr. Maroque?
Ooh, what is the range on Unseen Servant? Because I think I've already been letting you get away with a lot. It is only 60 foot.
Oh, you're right, it's 60 feet.
It's
Damn.
only 60
Okay,
foot.
well,
So no. You could have him like take it to the post box outside, but that's as far as he's gonna get.
is there like there wouldn't be a postie or like a
Page
newsie
or
out at this
runner.
point either.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know, I
Is there-
don't have anything to do all evening. I can just.
Throgan can just go.
Probably can just go. Okay. Vassal will write down like the prescription style note, but will not sign it, and will instead say, "Perform examination on bird. You will see two." Underline.
Examination on bird. Throgan, you
I'm not
can
a
read this, but it's in
bird.
horrible handwriting.
Oh, yeah. Doctors.
Not a doctor.
That's what Token's
Not a
gonna do.
doctor.
Not a doctor.
Not a doctor.
Not a
That's why I've been calling
I,
you Mister. Very pointedly.
Does this letter say that I'm a turd? That's rude.
But Token, are you gonna be running to deliver this message?
I don't know how far it is. Can I just go walk there?
Yeah, you can just walk there and back in 8 hours. It's
Yeah.
not far. It's in this city.
Wonderful. I just
Well-
take a walk.
Then should we
do you
plan?
want to go fast?
I'd love to go fast.
Okay, so
What are you
what
about
you
to
gotta
do?
do is you gotta stretch a bit, and then I'm gonna just fuck about until I somehow cast Longstrider,
That sounds good.
which is mostly just to allow Token to do more zoomies.
Throgan, you suddenly
I
feel like
zoom
you have
around
the
the-
zoomies.
Mhm.
Which is impressive, considering how many of the zoomies you had last time.
Yeah. Can I ask you something then? If I have the zoomies and I have the entire night, can I just the entire night go around picking up like loose change that gets everywhere and just picking up anything money wise that I see?
Your zoomies will only last for an hour.
That's
Roll
the
a
shit.
1d100.
Can I do it for like
Roll a 1d100.
1d100?
I want a luck check.
It was okay. It was slash roll d100.
1d100, yeah. Let's see what we get here. That's kind of low. Okay, you go
That is
zooming.
kind of low.
You go zooming, but unfortunately,
Uh-huh.
you don't find anything that's been dropped or lost or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
That's sad.
I'm sorry, Feather. You get some good zoomies in, though.
Yeah.
You do
Good
remember,
workout.
actually, on a 27, you do remember one thing, which is you remember that in the basement of that building of White Mom Manor, there was a sword on the wall that Yuka touched and then put back on the wall.
Fun.
That's all you get. That's all you remember.
Okay, I'm not gonna
So.
go back there on my own yet.
I would recommend against it, yes.
That's for now. That's dumb. But I'll keep that in mind.
So 3 of you, minus Throgan, can take a long rest, replenish your spell slots, replenish your class abilities, all of that jazz. Throgan, if you wish, you may take a short rest.
Yeah, I will.
Go on ahead. And then I just want to remind you as well that because you are not taking a long rest today, you will also gain 1 level of exhaustion. I'm not entirely sure how to denote that in your character sheet, so I'm going to tell you out loud what it does because I'm using the 1 D&D exhaustion rules, which is for every day you go without taking a long rest, you receive a -1 penalty to everything you do that is not a saving throw.
Where do I mark level of exhaustion?
I have no idea.
It should be in your effects tab.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So you'll have disadvantage on ability checks.
False.
Just for this one.
False. Did you not listen to what I
Because
said?
Everything.
I'm reading what it says in the thing.
Yes, you
yeah,
are.
the thing is using the 1 D&D.
You are
Okay.
reading what it says on the thing. I said I was using the 1 D&D rules because it's going to be a little bit less difficult for Throgan. Because boy howdy, I hate the 5e rules for exhaustion. I don't like them. They're bad.
They're not great.
So yes, so we're going to use the 1 D&D rules for exhaustion, which is you take a -1 to everything. While you are exhausted.
If I do a long rest one time, will I lose all of my exhaustion?
Yes,
or
you
will I
will.
lose 1 point? Okay.
At this point in time, don't quote me on this, you will lose all of your exhaustion.
Okay. I can't quote you on that. That's a shame.
I mean, you could certainly try and clip it. We are on Twitch.
Perfect.
So, the 3.5 of you wake up the next morning. And Vassal, first of all, this is incredibly early because that bird is making so much noise in the kitchen.
I'm sorry.
However,
Tinkering is a loud hobby.
you, Throgan, have had time to attune to your alchemy equipment. And I'm guessing the box of the feathered, you also played around with it a little bit last night. You notice that if you remove any of the glassware or ingredients or anything like that from the box, after a moment, they spring to life in your hand and become full-sized versions of what they are. They are expertly crafted. The engravings are gorgeous. This is very clearly a set that was made with a lot of love and care and attention. And if you think about it, and if you think really, really hard and the glassware is cleaned properly and ready to be put away, they'll shrink back down to that same 1/10 scale to be put back in the little box. This is a functional replacement to your alchemy kit that weighs, I think, half the weight. It says so on your character sheet.
And it was better, right?
Well, it's a higher quality. It's not necessarily going to be better in things you make. Like, that is still up to you.
Yeah.
There is one thing you notice about this alchemy kit that you had not noticed before, which is that the bottom, as you sort of set it onto your table, a small coating of what looks almost like dust or just gray dust the texture is weird somehow. It's wrong somehow. Came off of the bottom of the box when you first set it down. However, you see nothing else wrong with this item.
And none of the times after it does it give that same dust effect?
Correct. Only the first time. Throgan, chamomile.
Okay.
Actually, not chamomile. Throgan. No, wait. You are Throgan. Fig. I'm confusing my players again. Fig. I believe you also took an item from the magical salesman.
I did, yes.
Did you spend time last night identifying what it is?
That wasn't what I did last night. I did some other stuff last night, but I'm going to tell you later.
Fair enough. I will not reveal what your item does then.
Mm-hmm.
You all wake up. Throgan, you had delivered last night a missive to the Ironcliff Council building. Dr. Hoskati Morog had not been in at the time because it was very, very late. But you were told that at 9:30 a.m. the next morning, you have a meeting. And you are to be there if you want to have your appointment. So, I would say that you can very, very easily communicate this with Cam, Fig, and of course your new roommate, Vassal. And you four can meet outside of the Ironcliff Council chambers, or outside of the Ironcliff Council building. At, 9 a.m., just enough time to, grab a pastry and a coffee if you want it before going inside. Now, the Ironcliff Council building is built at the top end of the mountain. It's not necessarily in the Merchants District, but it is very close by. And Cam, you know exactly what is going to happen when you walk into this building. This is a government building. And as such... Yeah, Cam, sorry, you know exactly what's happening.
I start frantically looking for where the fuck I put my ID.
You can find your ID. It's in your pocket. It's where it's always been.
Yeah, but also I forget that there's a space. It always is.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, I always put it there.
The Ironcliff Council building is this lovely carved set of double arched doors. And the front panel has this carving of this massive, hulking dwarvish figure that looks almost like a lumberjack a la Paul Bunyan, with a small dog sitting next to his knee. The other side of the door has on it a dragon motif, one that is inlaid with rubies, with garnets, with all shade of red, shimmering stone, and fire motifs swirling around him, and what looks almost to be the same molten fire that heats the mines of Ironcliff. These doors, of course, are nothing more than show. They are open to any of the public who wish to enter who have business, though the first room that you come upon is a security checkpoint. This is a security checkpoint, Fig, much like the ones you have seen everywhere else in Gurünk. Oh, Vassal, also you would have seen everywhere else in Gurünk. These are security checkpoints that have a very open first building and then a smaller room that is blocked off with a very specific shielding material. This material is see-through. You can see from the outside in, though you cannot see from the inside out. Inside of it, there is a circular room on the floor. And Chamomile, you are the one who out of all of these people know best what this room does. Once you walk in, you are asked to de-transform or cancel any appearance-altering magic you may be subjected to. This is, of course, due to the issue 250 years ago of doppelgangers infiltrating Gurunk's navy to the point where they had actually replaced the admiral of the fleet with no one knowing. Of course, to avoid this happening again, there is now a very strict rule against anyone coming into any government building or any official meeting of any sort under any sort of appearance-altering magic. For most, this is a simple courtesy. I mean, Fig, you don't exactly walk around with a glamour on all the time. However, for others, this is a bit more personal. Nobles might be using it to hide scars or birthmarks, and others may be of a race that has appearance-altering magic, that has glamour as intrinsic to their very being. Do you all enter the government building, and do you all go through this checkpoint?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's a normal occurrence. I haven't noticed anything. I'm like, I do. Fig does have like anxiety where it's like, okay, I didn't put any magic on myself. I didn't make myself taller. He never does it, but he still worries about it.
This is me walking into like a courtroom. Like, do I have a metal object on me?
Like, I don't have like a new necklace that does like a glamour. No.
Am I in the Netherlands with money right now? Ah, shit.
Oh no!
I go in. I assume that I know that it won't do anything about my birdness, right?
Actually, Throgan, how often do you go into government buildings? Have you ever been scanned as a bird?
Mhm.
I don't know. I wouldn't. If every time I have a doctor's appointment, I have to go into a
It
building
is
like
not
this,
every time you have a doctor's appointment, because the doctor's appointment is not an official building.
then I likely would not. Wait, do we have some level of police?
Well,
Because I would have likely reported my being to something.
yes, okay. There is the army. There is the militia of Ironcliff that you would have been able to report the guy to.
Yeah, but the army feels too big. Like they're not gonna kill my guy, right?
Well, no.
No, then I don't
Okay,
think
sorry.
I would have
I
told
need
anyone,
to
so I
specify.
wouldn't have been
The
here.
militia of Ironcliff are called the Boys. They are a frat.
Mhm.
It is quite literally a frat. Like it is a fraternity that just also happens to be the militia.
But they used to bully me, so I won't go there.
They won't go. Okay, you won't go there. That's fair.
Yeah, okay. Then I've never been into a government building, I think. At least
I'm like-
not since my birth.
I'm just like, but have you been arrested?
Why would anyone ever arrest me? I would never do anything wrong.
Basil just looks you up and down and turns his head away.
You know,
I
Cam's
don't know
gonna
what you're
hang
talking
back
about.
because Cam's gonna need to talk to someone to, like, hi. Yes, could we turn this off because this hurts like a bitch because my being me won't come off.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi. Sorry.
maybe like Fig might
so
go through first.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm recruit Gingerbeard. Yeah, sorry. We can't really turn it off. That's not how this works. Can I help you, ma'am? What seems to be the problem?
So I hand this person my ID, which basically says changeling with like drawings of like the two forms I use most often.
He
Walking through this portal will hurt so much.
he takes the paper from you.
Please let
Oh, wait, I was told what to do if I saw one of these. Hang on. Give me a minute. And he like seems very, very excited. Like this is the first time he's actually seen one of these ID cards. And you watch as he like scrambles over to like the podium and he's like flipping through the big book and like trying to scan it. And you see he finally like gets to a page that matches the townstead where you're from, and like he's checking like, okay, that's the right font, and like, okay, yeah, that's the right color, okay, and the watermark is the same. Okay, Chamomile? Can you
Yes.
please step in the other chamber actually so we can just confirm that this is who you are?
yes. And I walk into the other chamber, which is for me the main chamber.
And the other chamber is essentially just a foldable screen that has been set up on the side.
Yeah.
And you watch as I've already forgotten his name. Was it Gingerbeard? Recruit Gingerbeard?
Gingerbeard.
Walks in and is just like, okay.
Does he have a ginger beard?
He has very wispy facial hair. He's a very young dwarf.
He's very green.
Oh.
He's very green. He has just joined
Okay.
the boys, actually. It's like his first month on the job. It's his first
Nice.
like, Clagon on the job. Okay, so what I'm going to need you to do is, I believe that this is you. The ID checks out. We just have to make sure that like you're not carrying any sort of poisons or weapons or anything like that that could be used, against any of the government officials. So
Yeah, fair.
here's a chest that you can put any of your stuff in. It will be locked magically to me so that nobody else can access it. And then I will have to ask you to detransform just so we can check that you are in fact a changeling and not a doppelganger.
That's pretty much standard procedure.
Thank you.
So all I have is my quarterstaff in terms of weapons. I guess I'll also just leave my mesh kit because it does have a knife.
Good. I was gonna take your mess kit from you, yeah.
Yeah. I have like a glass bead and an alchemy thing, which I don't quite know what they do, so I just put them in. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I take out like my bag of snacks and I keep that one on me as I lose the horns just kind of twist back into the skull and everything becomes pale white. The purple just that kind of bleeds out of me. And yeah, I'm a changeling.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
We all look the same when we're not looking like something fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Miss Chamomile Croft. Thank you. You may retransform as you wish, and then I'll show you
Yes,
through like the
and I
side
shove
door.
a handful of berries just into my face. And I just
Oh,
go back to
I'm
changeling.
so sorry. I'm supposed to offer you snacks, aren't I? Wait. Do you want apple juice or a cookie?
Apple juice is fine, thank you.
He hands you like a juice box.
Awesome. And I just changed back into a changeling, but I kind of forgot which hue I was, so I'm like a significantly more reddish purple than I was like a minute ago.
Absolutely. You would watch as Gingerbeard basically goes over to the chest, closes it, and removes like a small, like domino-sized stone from the front of it, and he like writes on it very quickly CC and puts it in his pocket. Or actually, he would hand it to you.
Could I have
Sorry.
my
Yeah.
Could I also have my ID back, please?
Oh yeah, of course. Here you go. If you could
Thank
come
you.
this way, I can show you through the side door.
Awesome.
And he just opens up
There's
like
a
a
side-
stone
okay.
door for you. You're able to walk through, and he closes it behind you. For all intents and purposes,
Have a
you've
nice
just
day.
done like a U around, like, the magic zone.
Yep.
Fig, Vassal, Throgan, you all see Chamomile, like, be shuttled off into like the screening zone, before showing up on the other side of the entryway. Now, Throgan, what do you do about this?
About the portal in front of me, or about
Portal in front of you.
But what
is
would Throgan even think that this could hurt him? Because he's always walked through fine.
I have very little like experience with a portal like this. I know that it's supposed to do stuff to like visual stuff around you. So I'm actually kind of really hoping that this will fix me.
Hey,
That is
dude,
fair.
Can you go somewhere else? Yeah. Go.
I'm assuming that's a cat.
That was a cat. That was not to Throgan.
I'm
was like-
so sorry. That was supposed to be muted.
It was very much not muted.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful that this will fix me. I take a deep breath before going through it, and I'm like,
Throgan,
and then I walk through.
Throgan, you walk into the room. You stand in the middle of the circle. You don't feel anything happening yet. The door on the exit has not opened yet. And then you hear Gingerbeard as well. He comes back. He's back at his little podium. He's like, all right, are you under any sort of appearance-altering magic?
A wizard turned me into a bird. I'm actually a dwarf. I'm hoping this will fix that.
1 minute. That wasn't in my training. Give me a second. And Throgan, you can't see this because you're inside the chamber at this point, but Vassal Fig Cam, you see him like go back over to the little podium, and he's like flipping through the on-the-job handbook. Like, cursed wizard, cursed wizard, cursed wizard, turned into a bird. And he like gets to the last page and he reads it and he goes, okay. Closes the book, goes back over. All right, so I'm gonna have to ask you like the formal questions, which is, please de-transform for us.
I wish I could do that, but I can't.
That's all right. I kind of assumed that's what the answer was going to be, but I do have to ask it legally. Then what I have to do now is I have to actually activate the rune that you're standing on to force you to de-transform as per, Gurünk law.
Yeah.
And he just like hits a button on the side of the chamber. Throgan, can you please roll me a d20? Throgan.
I am rolling so badly.
It's all right, Throgan. Don't even worry about it. Throgan, you you see the rune underneath you begin to light up this entire chamber. And it begins to feel like you are being cooked. It is blistering hot, and you feel your skin begin to burn and blister in this chamber. You almost watch your feathers begin to slough off of your arm. But underneath, instead of the dwarven skin that you would expect to see, more feathers are sprouting to take their place. It's almost as if whatever spell effect you were under will regenerate faster than this rune can get rid of it. The other thing you
Please stop this.
Is that every time a new patch of feathers is grown or your beak sort of remeshes itself to your face, you feel this thin layer of ash again all over yourself. And it's uncomfortable.
Similar to the ash I saw from Plex.
Very similar. You hear the button click again, and the light from underneath you stops, as does the pain after a minute. That was weird.
That was very
You could go through, but I am going to write you a note so that doesn't happen again.
Thank you.
No worries, sir. And the door opens in front of you, and you can pass through if you wish.
I stumble through.
Vassal, Fig, if you two go through the chamber, you have no issues. Fig, you were not under any magic, despite your fears. You were fine.
Yep.
Vassal, despite everyone seeming to forget who you are, you also are under no type of magic and are able to move through this checkpoint fine. Or at least no appearance affecting magic.
Carry on.
Carry on. Mr. Goldsnatcher?
Yeah?
Here, and you watch as Recruit Gingerbeard basically just hands you a little note that's been signed by him formally and stamped. That's like, and the note says, this bird is somehow under the effect of appearance influencing magic. We tried to burn it off of him. It did not work. Do not burn him again. He looks like this.
Thanks.
Small sketch of...
I am very sad that it says bird.
That is fair.
I am so sad.
That is
But
fair.
in this case, I get that, like, saying, no, a dwarf will not make me more convincing. I don't want to go through that pain again.
Well, you may add to your inventory note of...
Yes.
Yeah. So, you all are inside. And again, as you step inside, this is a very lovely done building. It is in very traditional dwarvish architecture style that is basically accentuating the natural stone formations that had already been here when it was carved into the mountain. You all are not going into council chambers. Of course not. You're not that important. Rather, you take a few steps up to a secretarial desk where a lovely dwarven lady points you down the hallway towards Dr. Hoscati Morogue's quarters. Now, Dr. Hoscati Morogue, as Vassal has told you, is the unofficial doctor to the council. Basically, if there is any sort of public health crisis, this is the lady that you would be speaking to, who would be making a lot of the big decisions, as well as being the personal physician to General Nullidzan specifically. Walking down the hallway, you can see that this is a hallway that not many of the public ever get to see. You really do need to be in her specific field of expertise in order to approach her. And walking through the hallway, you get to her door and you see that the door is open and there's a dwarven woman sitting at this desk. Now, as far as dwarven women go, she's a bit on the thinner side. Nothing that would be concerning from a weight perspective, just noticeable that it's a bit harder for her to put on muscle mass and weight. Her beard is very close cropped, which Throgan is a bit unusual for you. Most dwarves do tend to keep their beards fairly long to protect against the debris that is in the air of Ironcliff. But she has hers fairly close cropped and actually has a stack of like beard nets on her desk that you can see. Aside from that, she is dressed in very traditional, clean attire. It's like a nice tunic, a nice pair of slacks, and like a nice pair of pants, along with Yuka is not here, what Yuka would consider a ostentatious pair of shoes. They are completely normal. They have a steel toe. They're a bit scuffed because she's worn them a lot. She sees you approach the door and goes, "Oh, hello. Come in. You're Throgan, correct, Mr. Goldsnatcher?"
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful. I got the note this morning on my desk. It says that you needed a checkup over some sort of disease.
Yeah, thank you that you were able to reply so quickly. I have been bitten by something that gave me poison damage. And now I feel like I'm turning into a stew gazpacho. Please help me.
A stew of gazpacho.
A gazpacho stew. Yeah.
And you see that like she's taken out a piece of like a piece of parchment and like her quill and is writing down. And she like pauses on that very specifically.
Like it's like I feel like my blood is turning into like ice. So like
okay.
It's cold and it's chunky.
Okay.
Like a gazpacho stew.
Yes. Okay. I think I understand what you mean.
Perfect.
If you could jump up on the bench over there, I can take a better look at you. Do you want your compatriots to stay or to leave? Dr. Moreau, by the way.
Thank you. If they want, they're allowed to stay.
I didn't even enter the room. I don't like doctors. I'm just outside drinking my apple juice and just munching on a bit of jerky I pulled out of my bag.
If you don't mind, Doctor, I'd say we have another. Okay. Vassal does know that Yuka's ill.
Yes.
Yeah, we have another member who was also injured by the same creature.
Yeah.
Oh, that is terrible to hear. Well, are they here?
No, they are currently in, I would say, a type of status, which is that's sort of keeping their I suppose symptoms the same, or not increasing their It was a little weird. I didn't quite understand it. It was more, I suppose, druidic in fashion. I'm not very knowledgeable on that type of medicine.
Do you remember the names of the gods?
The name of the what, sorry, Feather?
The name of the gods, but I don't want to say that if possible.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything about the gods.
Yeah.
It's not important.
No.
If you can bring her here, I could absolutely take a look at her. I can also, because you said that this was a new disease, I will look at Mr. Goldsnatcher here, and depending on what I find, I might be able to send somebody or send something to help you as well, if that is amenable.
That would be great.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And you, sir, you have just been standing there.
I am merely a student of medicine who is concerned for the potential public health crisis that could arise from such a disease as this. It does appear as though the tissue is slowly necrotizing. What little pathology we've been able to observe is quite indicative of a rather large problem if left by itself. It appears to attack the body when the body is in the process of repairing itself during extended periods of rest. And, well, I'm nothing more than a concerned citizen.
Oh,
with
does it? That is quite interesting.
minimal expertise.
Oh, I love this vassal. Oh, does it? That's quite interesting. Give me one moment. And vassal, you would recognize that Dr. Morog is actually casting Detect Poison and Disease as well. Throgan, it's the same thing you saw last night. It's the same song and dance. She like taps you on the shoulder ever so briefly, and you feel just a little burst of magic go through your shoulder to your chest and back. You're absolutely correct, sir. That is exactly what I'm seeing here. Wonderful. I'm surprised I haven't seen you before if you're a student of medicine. But I do notice one other thing. This does appear to be curable. Quite easily, in fact. I mean, it is a poison of, quite frankly, nasty make, but it is also something that could be easily remedied with a cure poison effect or something similar.
I don't believe I've learned how to perform such an operation.
I just like look at Vitala and be like, dude, really? It's this simple? You didn't know this?
He gives you an eye that looks very much like, oh really, history major? Yeah?
Oh no, there's gonna be a fight here.
The romance is not going well.
Enemies to lovers, big tally.
No, absolutely not.
I would never do that.
Doing that, right?
I would never do that to my friend May. May is my friend. I
May
would
is
never
my
do this to
friend.
her.
Yeah, definitely never tried to romance any of my characters, ever.
I have not. Correct. He
True.
was not
Yep.
interested in you. He just wanted you to tell him your friend's number. But that's a story for another time,
This
audience.
is a story for a different stream because this is now referring to old campaigns. Anyways. Throgan. I've done this again. I'm mixing you two up for some reason. Throgan.
That's the F.
They're just so cute.
Or you see, rather, Dr. Morog sets... may I touch you?
Yeah.
Dr. Morog sets one hand sort of on your head, up top on your forehead, and a second one a little bit to the left side of your chest, over where your heart would be. And very, very quickly, she begins to say her prayer, most of which you cannot make out, but the bit that you can is... Oh, give me a second. I have to make sure that I tell you the right thing. Because this actually has lore implications. In the name of Tom Tom, I heal you and I cure you from whatever ails you. Fig, you would recognize this name as one of the Dwarven Pantheon. There is also, for all of my players, there is a list of all of the deities that are available in this setting in the notes section under the deities tab. For any of the chat who wants to know about the deities, there's a whole stream about it where we made them together. Tom Tom being a god of craftwork, magical items, and kind of healing on the periphery. Throgan, hearing this spell wash over you, you feel so much better. That coldness, that sludge that you had been feeling before, you feel immediately begin to dissipate from your body. You still feel bone tired after staying up all night. But whatever poison had been affecting you, you are confident that it is gone.
Nice.
You also know that whatever had been affecting you is still affecting Yuka.
Yeah. How would we... Thank you so much for healing me. I really appreciate that. How would we heal my friend?
Well,
How would we go about doing that?
as I said, it is a incantation. It is a spell that is accessible to most low-level healers. It was called Lesser Restoration. I don't know if you know of it. I could quickly write you out what is essentially a prescription. It would be a scroll that you could use to cast the spell, but it would require somebody who is able to cast spells of that caliber and of that type.
Are either of you available, but able to do that? I look at the people around me.
What?
Is it also a cleric spell?
It is also a cleric spell.
Yeah.
It is also a
Wait,
bard
it
spell.
Yeah,
doesn't
so
matter
it's-
because
It is also a bard
I
spell.
completely neglected magic. So, like, rules wise, I could. Roleplay wise, I couldn't. Intentionally, anyway.
I will put it this
Roll-
way. I know for sure
Yeah.
that 3 of you could cast this spell. I need to double check if Throgan can cast this spell.
Mhm.
Rules wise, we will be able to in one level.
Throgan can cast this spell in
Yeah.
1 level as well, because apparently it also falls into the Artificer spell list.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't do it currently, but yeah, and once I'm
Next
no
week,
longer
though.
baby.
Bold assumption you're
For-
leveling up today.
For
No.
the sake of the general public, Doctor, I find this would be a most helpful resource if you would be gracious enough to bestow it upon our party. He's laying it on as thick as he can.
Give me a charisma check, Mr. Forgotten.
Mhm.
That's empty.
Come on, Bard. Yeah, Bard!
Bard moments.
Yeah, Bard!
But is part of your charisma from people knowing about you? I don't know.
Oh.
Fig.
I sometimes like to get the DM ideas anyway.
Fig, if you wouldn't mind trying to undermine me in front of the nice doctor, please.
I mean, I would be glad to help somebody who's interested in the healing arts get better. Of course, of course. I can write that up for you now. I do, however, have one slight issue when it comes to that. It is easy
course,
enough
please.
to cast a spell yourself when you are calling upon your god's energy. However, from what I am looking at you, sir, you do not seem to be the religious type. Which means Tom Tom will require a sort of service in order to cast the spell through you.
What kind of service?
Well, one of Tom Tom's, let's call it instructions from the world, is to protect magical items. He requires things be treated with care so that they can be repaired, so that they can avoid hurting people. We have, as such, you would basically need to show your devotion to him before he would be able to help you. You must do a service before the magic can flow through you, such like that.
Oh, if it's as easy to follow as keeping a magical item, I don't imagine we'll have much difficulty. I mean, preventing the children of the world from running upon rusty nails and developing tetanus and other such ailments is easily done.
Wonderful.
You'd have to be a monster to do otherwise.
I am glad you understand, sir. So as such, if I am to transcribe this spell, I will need to either sacrifice is such a dirty word. I will need to either return a magical item to Tom Tom himself, which would, remove the magical item from our plane of existence and prevent any of us from using it. Or I would need to find a magical item or a magical ingredient or something like that you would be able to give to the church or a cleric of Tom Tom for them to use in their devotion. I don't know if there is anything you have already. If there is not, I do have some reports I could send you about possible items or ingredients I require in my healing.
Would you be so kind? Oh, would you be so thoughtful as to do such a thing for us?
Oh, of course, it is no problem.
We are truly indebted to our friend to make her well.
It is absolutely no
So
problem.
any leads you have are much appreciated.
Oh, most certainly, most certainly. Well, as you know, it is getting to the time of year where some of the miners begin to come down with a bit of a cold, a bit of a cough due to the colder weather. Wait, it's spring. Due to the warmer weather. Let's try to remember what season it is. No! So, there is a very specific ingredient that we use in a lot of our medications for that. It is just something to clear the airways, to make the mucus flow a bit quicker so that it can leave the body. most of the ingredients we have enough of. There is one specific one, which is a flower. It is small. I could give you an image of it. You may already know of it if you've done any sort of study. But it's small, four-petaled, yellow center. We need to basically extract some of the compounds from that to put into this medication. The problem arises in that this flower is only found inside the old woods. So it is a bit of a trek, a day and a half there, a day and a half back, not including any of the time that it takes to, gather enough of it. So if you
look close enough, you can see Vassal's soul decaying.
Sorry, I will say, I had the thought.
For that.
I had the thought of going through the treehouse and looking at all the stuff that
treehouse?
Yuka had.
Oh yeah,
Yuka's
old
house.
tree. Yeah, I was gonna look through her supplies. That did not.
You could have just had all of the flowers you were being asked for.
But no, this is Vassal's fetch quest, so.
If you split the party over a fetch quest, I'm ending the campaign.
No, it'll be a perfect split. It'll be the rest of them and then Vassal on his own, where he gets promptly eaten by a bear.
Uh-huh.
And then Yuka replacement number 2 comes into the mix.
I can't even start the overarching campaign because, you just keep dying. If you could be so kind as to bring back, 200 or so grams of material. Wet material, obviously. I'm not going to make you dry it. I would be very appreciative.
We can do that.
Wonderful. Here,
Sure.
I will
Thank
get you a
you
satchel that will
so
fit
much for
exactly
your
as much as you need. And you watch as she sort of takes off the gloves that she had been using, tosses them, and then walks over to her desk, rummages through a little bit, and brings out a small. It's a pouch made from actually some sort of leaf that Cam, you would notice, has been sealed with wax so that it's going to be watertight and very durable, but still, for all intents and purposes, disposable. Here, if you could just fill this up and bring it back to me, I can get you that spell scroll as soon as you are back. And I hope that is fast enough for your friend.
My thanks to you, Dr.
Wonderful.
Murug.
Oh, one other thing. To the tall fellow, pointing at you, Fig.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Yes, Doctor.
It's a map of the area. I've marked on there where I tend to go to collect them. Just ease of finding.
Thank you very much. I will
Yes.
be sure to come back as soon as we can.
Wonderful. Well then, I'm going to have to ask you all to very kindly leave. Though, of course, you may have a coffee on your way out in the waiting room. But I do have an appointment I need to get to.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
No worries. I'm saying no
Thank you,
worries.
good doctor.
Wonderful. Have a lovely day. And she sort of shoves you out of her office. Now, leaving the council building is much the same affair as entering was, with 2 differences. Cam, of course, you still do not have to go through the main thing. Rather, you go through the side door again, hand over your little token, and recruit Gingerbeard gets you your chest that has all of your items in it. Throgan, you are also brought to the side door this time and sent through the no magic zone. You are able to go through that way, and actually by the time you leave, they have a small little ID card printed out for you with the Ironcliff stamp of approval on it that says temporary identification for Throgan Goldsnatcher, with a better artist's rendition of what you look like.
Perfect. And the frat guy wasn't the best at drawing?
No. Gingerbeard, he's not an artist.
I've been, I marked the note, by the way, as a tool.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's completely fine. You all leave, and for ease of picking up next week, you all begin to make your final preparations and head out of Ironcliff. Now, as you look at the map on where to go, you notice that it is past Yuka's home that she is sending you towards, that Dr. Marogue is sending you. If I can please use my ruler on the map so I can actually measure this out. 1.5 days of travel will get you just about into the center of the deep woods. And for you, Fig, you notice something quite interesting about that number. 1.5 days of travel is just about 3/4 of the way, or all of the way, depending on the path you take, to what used to be the barrier between Oberon and Gurünk. For those of you who do not know, Oberon is the home of the elves, and up until 250 years ago had been magically sealed off from the rest of Gurünk after an invasion by the elves had tried to spread their wisdom to the rest of the continent. 250 years ago, there was a event that ended the Age of the Dragons and caused that barrier to fall and these two nations to be reunited. Ever since then, this barrier, where the barrier used to stand, has been a dead zone. Nothing has grown there, and despite a lot of attempts for things to grow there, people tend to see it as cursed, and especially see one of the nearby villages that have been wiped out as proof of this curse. Fig, this is a place you have been very, very interested in. And would be close enough at that point at this journey that if you wanted to take a detour, you could if you could convince your companions. For now, though, the four of you begin to set off from Ironcliff, saying a final goodbye to the two boys at the front gate, before going back off in search of the Forbidden Woods. And that is where we are going to end our session today, because it has been 3 hours, and I am actually quite pleased with that timing. So, is there anything any of you, my players, want to ask or say before I wrap things up? Or as I'm wrapping
Thank you
things
for
up?
a lovely session.
I'm really glad I'm not
quite
dying
good.
anymore.
I'm so relieved that Throgan's not dead. I was very worried for like a month.
To be honest though, like my health is at 19, so even in one night I wouldn't necessarily have died. But I'm really glad I'm not dying anymore.
I
Yeah.
love Sunny and hate Vasil so much.
You're so good, Sunny.
Sunny, you are doing great. So, Vassal was an NPC that appeared in session 1 that Twitch never got to see because I was silent for the entire thing on Twitch. I'm so glad they get to see Vassal now because he is horrible.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
In my I'm also just thinking out loud that the with the curse that was given to Vassal, is to lift that curse, is he the one that has to heal Yuka?
Isn't that a good
Yes.
question?
He is.
Okay. Because otherwise I'd be like, Eric. But I'm like, I got the vibe that it was like, no, Vassal was the one that needed to complete this.
Yeah. Well then, if that is
I
everything,
loved all the adventures and vignettes today. Well done. Thank you, GM.
Yeah, thank you so
thank
much.
you,
very
my
much.
lovely
It was
players,
fun.
for being here. So, that brings us to our next little order of business, which is when is our next session going to be? I do try and stream every Sunday at 18 AMS, 11 CT, with a couple of exceptions. Next week, I do believe we will have another session. That will be on the 2nd of June. Now, on the 9th of June, I will also be around and would like to have a session if my lovely players are available, but I will have a further update about that next week. I can already tell you that on the 16th of June, we will not have a session, because I will actually be absent again. So that week will be a skipped week, and we will pick it back up after then. In the meantime, if you do want any more updates from me, Nalise, you can always follow me here on my Twitch. You can follow my YouTube channel at Nalise RPG. Or you can follow my Patreon or Ko-fi, which are both at /Nalise and will be on the end card as well, so you can look them up there. I do try to announce my streams on there, though sometimes I decide to just go live without announcing it because I forget to announce it. So please follow my Twitch if you do want updates on that. Aside from that, do any of you, my lovely players, have anything you want to announce to the public?
Bandcamp, I forget what the actual URL is, but you can either find it at Sunny K Sings, all one word, or Hey Sunny K, Hey Sunny K. .bandcamp.com.
Yeah. And I
Just go subscribe to Elise. They deserve it.
Yes,
Yeah.
please subscribe to Nalise.
Good.
Sign up for Nalise's Patreon. Sign up for Nalise's Ko-fi to make sure that our DM is compensated for the incredible worlds he builds for us and the entertainment he provides for you, the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
I love you all.
Love you too.
Actually, speaking about that, I do have some world building streams up on my YouTube right now, like the one about all the deities, which I mentioned a bit earlier in the stream, if you are curious and want to learn more about this world. But I think that is everything from us, and I think that's enough shilling from me specifically. Thank you, my dearest players, for shilling for me, I guess.
ARDM!
But with that, I hope you all have a lovely night. I hope your next games are good, and I hope that we can all play again once more with feeling. See y'all.
Bye.